I know, it's crazy. It feels like I blinked and it's already Saturday again. um, Hello. Good to see you all. Saturday again? No problem. Let's, right. Well, as always, before we go and do. Aren't we all? Before we go and do, what we're doing today, let's go on to our announcements, as per usual. And also, as per usual, we will start by talking about everything else that is listed here on the announcements, and then work our way back up to talking about Palestine as well as Lebanon. So with that, let's begin by starting with Sudan, and is currently in a war between Sudanese armed forces and the paramilitary rapid support forces. Sudanese children have been burned, whether alive or not. That is still horrific and devastating. There's been a boycott called for Dubai/the United Arab Emirates. Given they don't have any gold mines, they are killing, raping, and terrorizing Sudanese people for their gold. So please do not participate in tourism of the United Arab Emirates, as well as as Dubai, and don't buy any gold from them. Women in Sudan are being forced to have sexual intercourse with soldiers to obtain food for their families. This is quite literally the definition of sex slavery. And they have also... no, I do not live in Palestine, but I am talking about the events that are currently ongoing. Also, Sudan has been hit with devastating floods, and the Sudanese people are in need. I have links below to support them, as well as all the other places, such as Congo, as they are currently in the midst of a silent genocide. Many are being worked to death as slaves in mines in order to mine for coltan, which is a valuable mineral that is used in electronics, such as phones and computers. They are the #1 producer of this mineral, with millions being killed. Women are being sexually assaulted, and men and children are being forced to work in inhumane conditions, with over 6 million killed and counting. Yemen is facing a horrific famine, as I have been discussing, and also they are being bombarded interspersedly by the United States, as well as other allies of the United States, for their support of the Palestinian people. Their last bombardment, from what I understand, was in July, but I could be wrong and need to check in with that. I have been meaning to do that. I've just been incredibly busy the past couple of days. This past couple of weeks in general. And Haiti is currently experiencing gang violence and also massive amounts of xenophobia. There is a headline that I have put in here stating that Haitians in Springfield in particular are being attacked after a campaign of misinformation and xenophobia that was launched by the American far right wrongly accused them of eating pets, which is racist and xenophobic. They do not do that, and I shouldn't have to be the one to tell you that. That should just be common sense. So yes, as I said, there are links down below to support these causes, as well as I have links to Posterity International, as they are currently trying to raise $70,000 to provide hygiene kits for the displaced people in the Kanyarenchinya camp in Congo. The goal is to provide 10,000 hygiene kits, and these kits contain essential items such as soap, toothpaste, and sanitary products. I also have a link to Twitter user at Coma-Bed, spelled SITCOMABED. Their Ko-fi is raising money for Sudan and Palestine, so please, if you can, donate there, as well as a campaign that was started by at @acute_insp on TikTok, spelled ATUTE_INSP, alongside our team Mutual Aim. They are collecting money for Congo, Sudan, and Tigray. The donations will be divided between the 3 causes, so if you would like to donate but don't have the funds to donate to multiple campaigns, then this is a great way to help Congo, Sudan, and Tigray. Venezuela still facing a internet blockage and internet blackout. If you don't know what's going on with Venezuela, I have mentioned it in past streams, but I will mention it again for posterity. There was a election that went on between candidates Edmundo Gonzalez as well as Nicolas Maduro. However, there was some election fraud going on that made Maduro win when the rightful winner was Gonzalez. Maduro is a violent dictator to the Venezuelan people, and after many people protested and vocalized their disdain for the results, Many of them were kidnapped and sent to the largest torture facility in Latin America called Helicoide, and they haven't been heard from since. And over 46 people were killed 24 hours after the election. It is incredibly horrific to hear the atrocities that are coming out of Venezuela as a result of a violent dictator. So please, please, please keep your eyes on Venezuela. And if you see any people on social media who are from Venezuela asking for support in some ways through commissions or asking for money via their Ko-fi, please, please, please do donate to help support them. It is the very last day of Indigenous Heritage Month. Who would have thought that stream would land on the very last day of Indigenous Heritage Month? I certainly did not, because I forgot that today is a Saturday. Excuse me. So I wish all of you who are Indigenous, I hope that you have had a fantastic Indigenous Heritage Month. And I hope that the colonized holiday of Thanksgiving wasn't too painful. I mentioned this in last stream, but Thanksgiving is a colonized holiday wherein it's dressed up to appear more fluffy than it actually is. Many atrocities have been committed against the indigenous populations of America and have been kind of wiped, the slate's been wiped clean by us, the colonizers, as a means to say, like, they were the ones causing problems versus we were. And many other such atrocities, such as killing their sources of food, giving them diseases, killing, raping, pillaging villages and women and children and such like that. So I know many Indigenous people were passing around their personal links to support them, and I hope that if you saw those, you donated, or you went to a local business run by Indigenous people and bought from them. And I hope that you continue to do that, not just out of obligation for holidays or what have you, but just in general. It's good to support Indigenous people no matter what. And same thing with any heritage or history month. So yeah, but I love you all who are Indigenous, and that also counts for Indigenous populations outside of the U.S. as well. I hope that all of you have had a fantastic Indigenous Heritage Month, and I love you all, and I hope you are all doing well. SAG-AFTRA has gone on strike to support video game voice actors. It states on their website that SAG-AFTRA members went on strike against video game employers on July 26th. The strike was called after more than 18 months of negotiations with some of the largest video game companies ended without a deal. The employers rebuffed our proposals for consent, compensation, and transparency around the use of AI and instead have countered with loophole-filled language that negates any protections they claim to offer. And of course, I would hope you all do, but I know personally I stand behind those who are protesting. I know that AI has gone off the rails recently, especially with synthesizing voices and taking people's voices without their expressed permission to put them in other sources without their knowledge. So hopefully these strikes will eventually come to a conclusion where there is a deal, where there are protections put in place for video game voice actors. And so I haven't heard anything about them ending or negotiating any deals yet, but I will keep you all informed if I hear something about that. The Oaxaca fires that tore through Oaxaca, Mexico were incredibly devastating, especially to the indigenous population there. Lots of lives were lost and many homes were destroyed. And the government of Mexico has done nothing to support these indigenous populations. And so if you would like to do so, there are links down below, as well as to support the people of Rio Grande do Sul in Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil. These floods were also incredibly devastating, and it is stated that it left at least 100 people dead, maybe more, and displaced more than 200,000. And I'm sure that they are trying to rebuild, have been trying to rebuild since these floods. I don't even know if the floods have fully gone down, but I'm sure that the links that I provided will provide you with some insight information. I know I linked some articles down there. These articles are in Portuguese, which is the language that is spoken in Brazil. So if you can read Portuguese, that's great. But if you can't, then there's always articles out there in English, or you can use a translator of sorts, whatever you can do just to inform yourself. I would appreciate if you would do that. The indigenous tribes have been stripped of their clean water rights. There is a New York Times article linked down below, from when this happened to the Navajo, as well as bumped up links since it is also Indigenous Heritage Month to support indigenous people. The wildfires that tore through Maui were also incredibly devastating. Many lives were lost. A historic town was destroyed, and of course many homes in the process were also destroyed. But thankfully, good news is they have started to rebuild. And so it's still going to take a lot of time to at least try to get back to some semblance of normalcy. So please follow the links down below to support the indigenous population of Maui. And finally, before we, excuse me, sorry, I'm getting a DM. There we go. Sorry, I got distracted by a DM. Finally, before we go on talking about Palestine, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of businesses discriminating against the LGBT. So if you would like to support LGBT people at this time, there are links down below as well. Now, let us talk about Palestine and Lebanon. I do need to update that and put in news about Lebanon as well. I keep forgetting to do that. But biggest news so far that I have been able to parse out is that there was a ceasefire called between Israel and Lebanon from, I believe, the U.S. that started at 10 a.m. on Wednesday of this week, I believe, or this past week, which is astounding. Like, I understand why this was called because of tensions between the IOF and the Israeli government, as well as Hezbollah, and Hezbollah has a lot of significantly more firepower than Hamas, and so they will legitimately have more of an upper hand against Israel, who is just bombarding innocents in Gaza as well as innocents in Lebanon. And it's still, like, awful, that this even happened in the first place. But in any case, there was a ceasefire called. However, there has already been allegations that this ceasefire has been broken on allegedly both sides, but it's leaning more toward Israel doing this. As stated from what I've gathered from an article, Israel on Thursday of this week carried out its first airstrike on Lebanon since a truce with Hezbollah announced this week, saying it targeted the militant group's activity at a rocket storage facility in southern Lebanon that breached the ceasefire. Lebanese authorities reported scattered incidents of Israeli mortar attacks, strikes, and shots that fired that, I'm having a hard time reading this, that wounded 2 people trying to return to southern Lebanon. Lebanon state-run media said that the wounded were civilians, while the Israeli military described them as suspects who violated the terms of the truce that ended more than a year of conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. Of course, they're immediately saying, they're doing the Hamas tactic of, oh, we fired into this group of innocents because there were suspects in there. That's just their basic MO at this point, which is, it's just disgusting and horrific, and they're just gonna keep fucking doing this unless their means for being able to carry out these attacks are stripped away from them, i.e. they just stop getting ammunition sent to them, which is, as far as I'm aware, not going to happen point blank because of who's in charge and who's going to be in charge and their loyalties to Israel. And it's also baffling that there would be a ceasefire called for Israel and Lebanon to stop their hostilities, wherein there's been just nothing, just like a cold shoulder for Israel and to ceasefire their genocide that's been going on for more than a year now in Gaza. But, such is life with a literal government filled with Zionists that are hungry for the blood of Palestinians. Speaking of Palestine, the IOF struck across the Gaza Strip and killed 15 people on Wednesday, some of them in a school housing full of displaced people. medics in Gaza also added that the fatalities included 2 sons of former Hamas spokesperson, excuse me. Health officials in the Hamas-run enclave said 8 Palestinians were killed and dozens of others wounded by an Israeli strike that hit the Al-Tavim school, which was sheltering displaced families in Gaza City. Among those killed were 2 sons of former Hamas spokesperson Fawzi Bahum, according to medics and Bahum himself. In the Shijai suburb of Gaza City, another strike killed 4 people, while 3 people were killed in an Israeli airstrike in Beit Laika on the northern edge of the enclave where army forces have been operating since last month. So their hostilities have not ended. Their genocidal rhetoric, their genocidal activities are just never going to end, so it seems. So, I have links, of course, in the big thing that says, look here now for Palestinian resources to support Palestinian people, as well as a link to the Lebanese Red Cross. I know the link looks a bit sketchy, but I promise you it is legitimate. It does go to the Lebanese Red Cross, and it does support the Lebanese people. It is a accredited organization. Donate to Palestinian charities, of course, like PCRF, MAP, as well as there's a link to GazaFunds.com that sorts through individual Palestinian GoFundMes of those who are trying to seek funds to support their family or escape from Gaza, or a mixture of both. And I highly suggest you do so, as well as follow the links to buy eSIMs. Many in Gaza need eSIMs to communicate outside, to run these GoFundMes. So if you are unaware of how to go through this process, the links that I have provided will also provide you with instructions. So I believe that is everything I have to talk to you guys about today. Make sure I didn't skip anything on my list. Alright, I'm going to turn on the music. Thank you all, as always, for listening when we do these announcements, and I'm going to switch the screen. And there we are. Hello, hello, it is good to see you all this fine Saturday. But yes, thank you all, again, as always, for listening when we do these announcements. I know it's a lot, I promise, but genuinely, it does mean the world. Thank you. Love you guys. But hi. Oh man. Yeah, it really did feel like a blank and suddenly a Saturday again. In some aspects. It also just kind of feels like, in a way, I don't know, it just feels simultaneously really long and also really short. I can't explain it. Probably because I had to go to work this past week. But also because I had some time off, which is great. I'm happy to have the time off. I had 3 days off. Well, no, 3, not 3. I'm silly. 2 days off. I'm thinking it's 3 because I keep forgetting that I went to work on Wednesday. I keep forgetting that. Oh my gosh, I'm so scattered. But hello, hi, how are you doing? I hope you all are doing well. I don't know if I have much to say to you guys today that I don't want to say right away. Sorry, I'm getting my drawing tablet. That I don't want to say right away, because I want to talk about it whilst we're doodling. Because yes, I'm doing doodles today. But also, wait, I got an announcement. I have a very, very important announcement for you guys to make. Sorry, I'm trying to set things up. So, don't mind me if I'm just walking around my, what the heck? Sorry, I have rechargeable batteries for something I need to put into a thing. Don't mind me, I'm walking around my room. I promise I'll be sat in a second. I promise. I'm all over the place today. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. This weekend has been like my recuperation period from work. Because, like, I haven't had a solid several days off for, like, ages now. I only get 2 days off for the weekends, and then I work 5 days a week. So, like, having 4 days off is so strange. I'm like, what do I do with myself now? So I'm a bit scattered as a result. Sorry. Everything is falling apart. Good God. 50 billion things just fell over. Anyway. So, important announcement. I have been alluding to and kind of, trying to plan around doing charity streams for MAP, Medical Aid for Palestinians, which is the charity that we raised money for last year pretty successfully. We almost raised £200 for MAP, and I've been trying to find a time in which we should be able to do that again. I was hoping for October, and then I got a job, and I had to settle into my new job, so like that kind of flew out the window. I was hoping to do this month, but that also flew out the window for various reasons and planning struggles. But also, I'm so sorry you only had 1 day off. I'm so sorry about that. But I have some good news. December is the month where we are going to do our charity streams for MAP, and I'm saying that to you definitively. So mark your calendars for just about every Saturday in December. Making sure it doesn't collide with Christmas or anything. So from the 7th to 28th, so 7th, 14th, 21st, 28th, we will be doing some charity streams. Now you may be wondering, what are we doing for said charity streams? I know I kind of flew around and workshopped the idea of us doing an explained for Everyman hybrid, where, like, you know, kind of in the same vein that we did Marble Hornets, where we like watched it all the way through, but because of how complex Everyman hybrid is, it's not a straight linear narrative like Marble Hornets is. I would be explaining it as we went, trying to give you this most coherent timeline of it. But, you know, I think I was a little too ambitious with that. And I don't think... Look, I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna save that for another time. We'll probably do that after the holidays. After... Well, actually, wait. I don't know if... I'll probably take some time off in January to compensate, because normally, like, I do time off in December. I get, like, a week or two off in December from streaming, but I'll do some time off in January to compensate for that. In any case, though, what we'll be doing for those charity streams is I will be doing a Bob Ross-a-thon, wherein I follow a Bob Ross drawing tutorial or painting tutorial like we did that one stream, but for like 4 weeks. And we'll be having multiple different, like, on-stream, like, incentives for you guys to donate to. We're still kind of working through those a little bit, but I have at least definitively what we're doing. So I'll be drawing from a Bob Ross tutorial, different ones every time. Maybe we'll do like 1 or 2, maybe 3 if we're feeling up to it. And you guys can donate, and I'll do things like drawing with my foot, drawing with my non-dominant hand, closing my eyes, and just going to have to follow the sound of his voice. And maybe, if you guys reach the full goal, which I guess the minimum amount that I can put as a goal is $1,000 on, I already forgot what the site is that we use for for charity stuff. I'll mention it later when I figure it out. But if you guys hit $1,000, there is a possibility that you guys will get an IRL painting stream where I'll do a Bob Ross painting tutorial, but you'll get to see me paint it. Not like I'll show my face and stuff, but like you'll see my hands. You'll get like, I don't know how I'm gonna set it up, but you guys will be able to see me like physically paint on a canvas with literal paints, because I do have a set of canvases and some paints that have been laying around for a hot minute that I've never used, that I want to put to good use because this is for charity. So those are some of the incentives you guys can look forward to. This is starting next week in December, and I'm very excited for it. I actually brainstormed this while I was at work, and I texted my girlfriend. I was like, sweetheart, I know what we can do for the charity streams. So tell your friends, tell people you know and love, if they feel so inclined to join in, and we'll do these coming up. So I hope it'll be fun. My girlfriend's worried that it won't get a lot of people that join it, but like I have faith. People like watching people do Bob Ross painting tutorial follow-alongs, even if it's silly. Heck, I might even change the software I'm using midway through. If you guys get a bump up, I'll change it from like what, Paint to Clip Studio, which is what I typically use for drawing. So that's the announcement. I'm very excited for it. I'll also make a little post in the community tab so that you guys are aware of that too. So that and I'll also I'll set everything up on the charity site so that you guys, if you want to donate early, you can. No pressure there. Also, if you can't donate, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. And if you don't want to use, like, if you also want to, I'm trying to think of a way to include you, like, if you give us proof that you donated to, like, an individual fundraiser through Gaza Funds, like a fun little incentive thing you can do there. Or, like, if you do that, then you can pick what color I paint with that's incorrect, or, like, you know, something like that. I don't know. We're still, it's fine. You know what? It's fine. But yeah, I hope that'll be fun. I hope that'll be fun. I personally think that would be fun. So yeah. Alright. Now, you guys aren't here to hear me ramble. Not unless there's something on the screen. You kids and your Subway Surfers. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I kid. I jest. Alright. I'm setting up my tablet. Gonna hear a noise. There we go. Now, I will say, I did do a lot of drawing yesterday. My hand's a bit sore. So we're gonna have to see how this goes. I'm opening up Clip Studio as we speak. This will be fun. I hope. I don't know. Alright, let's see. Do this, and then do this. I gotta pop out chat. Oh boy, this will be... Okay, hold on. Oh, shoot. Okay, I forgot how to do this. It's been a while since we've done this. Boom. Okay, cool. Cool. Let's see. Oh, you guys can see it already. That's awesome. I didn't expect it to catch already. Wow. Really fast on the upkeep. I see. Okay. Okay. Holy cow. Alright. So, let's get a canvas open. Boom. Okay. Sweet. Now, I did say I was drawing the other day. My hand is a bit sore. I do actually kind of want to show you guys what I drew the other day, because it's kind of cool, in my own opinion. I don't know. I worked very hard on it for like 5 hours. 4 or 5 hours. Where is it? Pray to God you guys can't see me scrolling through my files. Okay, cool, you can't. There's some stuff in here that nobody needs to see. Except for me. Were you sad about George? Oh, you're sad? Yeah, I think we were all sad the other day about George. There we go. Speaking of George. I drew a little piece the other day for George. I'm trying to skillfully hide a thing. Hold on. Let's try that again. I'll just open the thing. You guys saw it for like 2 seconds. Hang on. I want to open the file up so I can hide the URL. There you go. Nobody saw that. I'm a terrible streamer. Sorry. Anyway, I drew a piece for George because it was the anniversary of his death the other day. So I drew a little piece that took 4 fucking ever to draw. Because I went a little detailed. Which, by the way, you'll never see me do this kind of detail work on the stream because fuck, this shit takes forever. And I don't want you guys to, like, scrutinize my methods, if you know what I mean. I don't need that. Hello, welcome. In any case, I'm proud of this. This took forever. I'm mostly proud of the flowers, I'm gonna be so honest. But yeah, this was a little piece I did to commemorate George's death. I did not even know it was his death anniversary until, like, I saw a bunch of my mutuals posting about it at, like, 7 in the morning, and I was like, oh. Okay, we're in sad hours today, huh? Okay. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so hard to do. I always forget how hard these fucking drawing streams are to do because, like, I have to try to balance out my mic with my drawing tablet and my keyboard, and so my desk is just a cluttered mess. Alright, let's do this thing. I'm gonna do a warm-up doodle. I don't know of who. I usually... So I have a sketchbook I bring with me to work that I doodle in occasionally that the kids sometimes look over because I work with kids. They look over and they see what it is. They're like, hey, what are you drawing? And I'm like, just somebody. That's always my answer. Especially one girl in particular. She likes to look over my shoulder and be like, who are you drawing? And I'm like, just somebody. That's always the answer. I never give her an explicit person that I'm drawing because, like, you know, I just draw people that come to my brain. I never have anybody in mind unless it's like, I don't know, one of the Beatles. or just a musician in general. I've been drawing a lot of musicians lately. Oh shit, there you go. I didn't know George was dead until I looked at the Wikipedia page for the Beatles last year. You didn't know till like last year? Well, that's totally fair. I didn't know until like this year he died. When I looked it up. I didn't know he died. He died when I was like a year old. I was like, what the fuck? Huh? I was alive briefly when he was alive? Oh, that's such a fucking... God's playing a trick on me, huh? Sorry. It is sad, though. In any case, what was I... Oh. I don't know. Yeah. What do I got to talk about? There's a lot of things I do want to delve into. I don't know, just in general. I don't know. My brain. My brain died a second there. Sorry, jeez. I know that lately I've said that, like, my brain's not been working. It's sincerely just not been working lately, and I can't tell you why. Making sentences is hard. Forming sentences is hard. Writing things out has been a lot easier for me than, like, talking lately. Oh shit, I forgot my... my eraser was not the eraser I typically use. Whoops, my bad. I used a different kind of eraser when I was, working on my George piece. I also just haven't been drawing a whole lot lately. I haven't felt like drawing in a while. When the mood strikes me, it's, like, rare nowadays, and the only times I will draw is for the thumbnails for stream. I'm not the biggest doodler anymore. Which is a shame. Like, 16-year-old me would be crying at that fact, because drawing was my entire life growing up. I wanted to be an artist of some kind. Oh shit, I moved chat. Chat, I'm so sorry I moved you. Oh, forgive me. Sorry. But yeah, I loved to doodle so much when I was younger. Just drew constantly. I guess it's because I had more free time. But even then, like, before I got this job, I just didn't draw a whole bunch. There's just been a long period where I haven't been doodling a whole bunch. And like, lately I've been trying to draw more, like with the burst of inspiration. I was actually supposed to be writing stuff yesterday, but my burst of inspiration went on for so long that it just fucking encapsulated my whole day. So I worked on that fucking piece all day. I think I started it at like close to 10, 11, and then it went on to like 4. It was... Oops. It's fine. It happens. Sometimes your plans change. I was actually supposed to be writing stuff today again as well, but I just didn't feel like it. I'm supposed to be writing something in specific and working on something, but I just haven't been able to get up, just muster up the fucking inspiration to do it, and I keep putting it off, and I'm like, fuck, bro. Stop doing that. I don't fucking know why I'm like that. I have time for everything else in the world, but writing right now, apparently, I'm like, damn, no, actually. I guess it's because I've just written so much. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. It happens. Let's see, what else? I've also, let's see. There's, I spent, what was it yesterday or the day before? Hang on, will it open my browser if I do this? No, it will not. On stream, I mean. Open up my letterbox real quick, I gotta check something. Okay, no, it was on, the 28th. So, like, a couple of days ago, I went and I watched, I've been trying to do research for this thing I'm writing. I need, don't ask, but I need specifically horror movies where faces are melting, but not like exploding, you know? I don't want like a... I don't need Scanner, like if you've ever seen the, like, a gif or a clip of the scene from Scanners where that person's head blows up, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, like, literally a face melting off of a person's head, just so I get it like a visual of it, so I have an idea of what it looks like and how I best can describe it in words. Because if I can visualize something, then I can put it to words fairly easily. It's not like I need the words for it, I just need to see it. So I've just been trying to look for horror movies with that specifically. So I've been, like, perusing the body horror genre of horror as of late, which is something I don't like to do. In terms of my horror selections, I am more of an avid fan of psychological horror than I am of body horror, because body horror... I don't like body horror at all. And that really was just like a thing that I developed from a young age. That's my preferences starting out horror, just defined me as a whole. And how I watch horror and consume horror from like now on, which is like limiting, and I have tried my best to do to go out of my comfort zone, but it never like ends well. Hello, welcome. I'm doodling and talking about horror. Because I'm building up to something, I promise. But yeah, I was scrolling through an IMDb list of somebody's like compilation of body horror films. And I was like, okay, I need to see if these films in particular, one of these films just speaks to me. That feels like the film that's gonna have a head that, or like a face that's melting. So, but what ended up happening was I ended up stopping my search when I saw Jacob's Ladder, because I remember a friend of mine, when we met up last, about, like a month ago now, they mentioned Jacob's Ladder being a favorite horror movie of theirs. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, that's a funky coincidence. But yeah, I remember them talking about it and them really, really liking it and like being like, dude, you have to watch this. And I was like, cool. And I put it in like the back burner of my brain for like those occasions when eventually I'll delve into a movie that someone recommends me. And that moment just so happened to be that moment. Like, right then, I was like, well, looks like I'm opening the recesses of my brain, and I'm gonna go watch, Jacob's Ladder now. And, man, what can I say? That movie was like, whoa. I don't know how many of you here have seen Jacob's Ladder. I'm gonna be so honest, though, like, don't watch it if you are squeamish, first of all, because it is somewhat gory in the beginning and some parts of the middle and a lot toward the end. But like, or if you have photosensitive epilepsy, do not watch this movie. There is a lot of flashing lights, and I had trouble watching it at points, and I don't have photosensitive epilepsy, so like, steer clear of that movie if you do have photosensitive epilepsy and are prone to seizures from flashing lights. But goddamn, Jacob's Ladder, fuck, dude, that movie, holy shit. Holy shit, I was speechless after watching that movie, just speechless. I love paranormal and like slasher horror, but psychological horror too, though I do want to watch The Human Centipede. Oh my god, don't even. I have a fucking piquing curiosity for The Human Centipede that has plagued me since I was like, what, 13? I think? Since I first started getting into horror and I heard about it? Maybe, no, not 13. Might have been when I was like fucking 14, 15. I was like, oh fuck, maybe I'll watch this. I haven't gotten around to it, and I don't want to. But also, it plagues me. I know what goes on in that movie, but also, I don't want to be sick. But I'm also morbidly curious. There's a lot of horror movies like that that I want to watch. Like, the one thing I can't handle is eye trauma and self-harm. Oh, that's so fair. There's like, the one thing I can't handle when it comes to horror is like eye trauma, like you. I also don't like disembowelment. That one's rough. Skin peeling off, I hate that. Nail torture, where they're like peeling off their nails or their teeth falling out. And also self-harm and stuff like that. Oh, especially rape too. I can't. There's a lot of horror movies with rape in it, and I'm like, anyway. What was I gonna say? There's a ton of horror movies that I am just morbidly curious about. Like, the one horror movie that I have been told to avoid forever, but is like on the more extreme end of horror, is Salo, and I know what's in it. I know all the horrible, god-awful shit that goes on in that movie. I don't know the entire plot of it, of course, but I know some of the things that go on in it, but I'm just morbidly curious. I'm morbidly curious, and I want to know the extent of how bad it is. And this happens. It's like a cycle with me, where I am desperate to know what goes on in fucked up horror movies sometimes, even though I don't have the courage to do so. Which is why I vicariously live through somebody else watching it and explaining it, from people like Spooky Rice, which I highly recommend his channel, by the way, if you are morbidly curious like I am about extreme horror movies but don't have the stomach to like watch them. He watches a bunch of these fucked up films, and he goes from like the beginning to the end in as much detail as he possibly can put on YouTube. So like, shout out to you, Spooky Rice. Been a fan of his channel for a little while now, so like, go watch him. He's cool. He also just uploads, like, once in a blue moon, so... Anyway, I'm so sorry. I can see what you guys are saying in chat, by the way. I'm just not acknowledging every single last person's, because a lot of them are off topic from what I was, like, talking about initially, but yeah. Jacob's Ladder. Anyway, I pivoted so hard from Jacob's Ladder. There's a lot of stuff that happened in that fucking movie, man. What, like, also, first of all, there was a Macaulay Culkin jump scare. I did not know Macaulay Culkin was in Jacob's Ladder. So when I saw his fucking head of blonde hair, hang on, let me just, like, how did his hair fucking look? I'm trying to do an artistic rendition of how his hair looked. Because it was stark blonde, the brightest blonde I think I have ever seen his hair. It kind of looked like this. Kind of looked like this. I think it might have been more like this in the front. I don't fucking know. But just Macaulay Culkin in that I was just like, what? Macaulay Culkin? The Home Alone kid himself? Oh shit. Brother to Kieran Culkin from Succession and Scott Pilgrim? And like his other brother who was in Signs? I keep forgetting that Macaulay Culkin has siblings and they're all actors. It throws me for a loop every single time because I remember seeing bits from Signs before I actually watched the movie and I was like, is that Macaulay Culkin? And other people were like, no, that's his brother. And I'm like, he has a brother? And it's like, no, he has multiple brothers. And I was like, what? The day I found out that Kieran Culkin was Macaulay Culkin's brother, I lost my mind because I was like, what? Of course, it's like the last name. Should have gave it away, but I couldn't put two and two together because, like, I don't know. It could have been a more common last name for all I fucking know. But anyway, Macaulay Culkin was in this movie as the main character's son. And I was like, of course, he's gonna be the main character's son, right? It's like getting one of the Sprouse twins to play a child character. This is either Macaulay Culkin or a Sprouse twin to be fucking kids at that time period in the 90s. Because what, Jacob's Ladder was what, 99 I think? Hang on, let me look. When was fucking Jacob's Ladder? I think it's 99. It felt like a 99 movie. Let me look. 90. Excuse me, I was off by 9 years. 1990. With an O, a 0 at the end. My bad. Yes, so that's still I rest my case still. I don't know, I was just like thrown for a loop the whole fucking movie after that, because I was like, oh, okay. Because the movie's about I'm not going to spoil anything in case anybody wants to go watch it, like, that can handle it. Because I do highly recommend it. I really liked it. Because it's about a war veteran named Jacob, oh, what was his last name? Singer? Jacob Singer? And he's coming home from the war in Vietnam, the Vietnam War, and he's trying to readjust to life after like a terrible divorce, and he's living with this new woman, and also dealing with the trauma of having been through a war, of course. And just, like, a whole bunch of shit happens. And it is harrowing. There's a party scene in that movie that just fucking... I was warned of it, but I completely forgot. And when it happened, I was just like... Holy shit, dude. Oh my god. I was, like, sat I was just curled up into myself. I think it was like 1 in the afternoon. I had a bowl of popcorn, and I was curled into myself, like half looking away, half looking at it, like, what the fuck is going on? Whoa! Can they do that? They can, but like, I was just like, whoa! Thrown for a complete fucking loop. Incredible, I will say. It was very incredible filmmaking. I also can see where a lot of this movie inspired Silent Hill, because I totally and completely forgot until after watching the movie that this was a movie that inspired some of the games in the Silent Hill franchise. I can't remember if it inspired the second game or not, but I know it like inspired / also they ripped off of quite a bit of the 6th game in the series, Homecoming. I think the opening sequence of that game is literally a rip from that movie. From that game is from that movie. I think. I'd have to cross-reference, but I'm fairly certain they ripped a bunch of shit from Jacob's Ladder, including the premises. Even if it's not directly linked, there's still some, like, eye-squinting moments of, like, is that the same thing? Or what? You know, I still... I have to double-check, though, if Silent Hill 2 is inspired by Jacob's Ladder in any way, because, like, I know that Jacob's Ladder is that nice, excuse me, that, a lot of Western media influenced the way that Silent Hill 2 came out. I know that they watched a bunch of David Lynch movies and a bunch of other Western media too. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to pull up the list. But I know for a fact that Jacob's Ladder was one of them because I think they designed a lot of the monsters based on, like, the demons in that movie. And, like, how their, like, heads and their movement, like, their body contorts all weird based on, like, the demons in that movie. But I would have to double check. Either way, I fucking love that movie. It was great. I think I put, like, 10 out of 10. Probably not gonna watch again for a few years. Somewhere. Oh, it was on my Beatles side blog. That blog's just become my home at this point. I made a post that was like, hey, I'm gonna go watch Jacob's Ladder, see you guys in a little bit, and then I reblogged that post and added on, hi, what the fuck. But yeah, that's the biggest movie that I watched as of recent. I have been watching like a few movies lately. I've been trying to fill the void of the fact that I'm falling into a reading slump with movies. I'm supplementing it with movies because I love movies. And I haven't actually talked about movies in a while with you guys. Because oh god, when was the last time? It was like a few months ago, probably. I remember that time when through the entirety, like the last bit of July, I talked about all the movies that I just marathoned. Or was it August? No, it was July. All those horror movies I watched because I was like bored. I need to try something like that again. Except it's kind of hard because my Roku, but like the way I was watching the movies initially back then, I would just like hang out in bed and watch them via my Roku. But my Roku broke under unknown circumstances, and that is very sad. I only had that Roku for like I think 2 years, maybe 3. I don't remember. I had it a very short time though. And it already busted. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even do anything to it. I just didn't watch anything on it for a couple of months. So it's kind of hard because I like to lay down and watch movies and not sit up unless like because I like to watch them later in the evening before I go to bed. So, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out ways to watch movies more efficiently. But in any case, let's see. What else is something notable that I've watched recently? I'd have to pull up my IMDb to not my IMDb. What am I talking about? My Letterboxd. I'm having a weird brain day. I'm so sorry. Aren't I always having a weird brain day? Oh! It's there's a few movies that I could talk to you guys about. I'll go in descending order. I'll just keep my IMDb up so I can. I keep saying that. Fuck my Letterboxd. God, I'm so my Letterboxd. I'll just keep it on in the background so I can just occasionally pop it up if I need to. So before I watched Jacob's Ladder a while back, like a few days ago, I rewatched for the first time in like 10 years. I rewatched Fight Club, which is crazy. A lot of you are probably like, wait, you've seen what? You've seen Fight Club 10 years ago? Yes, I watched Fight Club 10 years ago. Story behind that is I had a friend who I like to watch movies with, and this friend also introduced me to horror. Same friend. She actually also, we just watched movies together a lot, and one of the movies she showed me, I really want to watch The Substance. Oh my god, me too. I really want to watch The Substance too. I've heard good things about it, and like Demi Moore's performance in it is stellar, I've heard. I'm like, fuck, I need to see it. Right, Fight Club. Yeah, so she showed me Fight Club one time, like 10 years ago, back in like 2013, through Skype, and of course, like, Skype doesn't have the greatest window sharing capacity, so I was watching it at like maybe 2 frames a second, but it didn't really leave that big of an impression on me, really. She did ask me how I liked it afterward, and I was like, I just was, like, unimpressed, which is fair, 13-year-old me. But I recently actually finished the book for Fight Club, because I checked it out from the library a little bit ago, and I was like, fuck it, might as well. I mean, I read Fight Club 2 when it came out. Sat in the bookstore and just read it, because I was bored, and I was like, yeah, I remember watching Fight Club. I wonder what the book's like. Can't remember anything about Fight Club 2. I'm gonna be so fucking honest. It's a graphic novel, I know that much, but I don't fucking remember anything from it. But so I read the book. I was like, okay, cool. I finished the book a little, like, God, what, a couple weeks ago, and I was like, okay, well, I finished the book. I'm gonna do that thing that I like to do, where I go and watch the movie version, if there is a movie version of a book that I finished reading, and do like a compare and contrast. I do that all the time. Especially if I finished the book just recently, so I can go through my, like, knowledge banks of my brain easier, and, just see what the movie changed or kept. And I did that with Fight Club, and, like, there's a lot of stuff that they moved, like, changed around, and like removed or added, or I don't know. But like, I forgot just how fucking pretentious Fight Club is. And I can't tell if it's on purpose or if it's genuine. It's towing a line with me in terms of genuinity, and my freaking observance skills are failing me with this fucking thing. I legitimately am like, what am I? Chuck Palahniuk, are you being genuine right now, or are you fucking with me? I can't tell. Because there's just so much fucking talk about, like, everything to do with, like, men, and, like, male power, or, oh my god, there was some shit about we are the scum of the earth, the crap of the earth, or whatever. With a shitheel of the earth. I can't fucking remember. It's just something to do with, like, inferiority and shit like that. And then there's also just this really weird sex scene that I hated. So bad. It was just so weird that they oh my god. Just thinking about it again. Garfield, are you serious or joking? /SRS//J. That really was me the whole fucking time. I was like, what is this? Am I, huh? Cause like, I don't know, man, like, it's also just really hard to watch Fight Club in general because there's a bunch of fucking, like, punching going on. Just beating the shit out of people. And it looks realistic a lot of the time. And I fucking hated it. I was fucking tensing up every single time they did, like, a fucking, like, Fight Club meeting and they showed it on the screen. I was like, fuck, shit, dude, oh god, hello, Although I am kind of sad that, there's a thing in the book where the main character's, cheek gets pulled open, and there's just a hole, a gaping hole in his cheek that never heals the whole time, and it just gets pussier and grosser the whole time, and it's like brought up frequently in the book, and how disgusting it is, and I'm kind of sad that they didn't do that to Edward Norton, who plays the main character in the movie. I'm like, fuck, I wanted to see Edward Norton with the fucked up cheek that he fiddles with occasionally, and never lets heal. Would have been distracting, but also interesting. I don't know, I just wanted to see something, because I don't know, I think they let Edward Norton off with a little bit too little in the movie in terms of him being, like, a frequenter and also founder of Fight Club, so, like, I was like, why doesn't he look like shit? Why does he still kind of look conventionally attractive? Come on now, let me see him look gross. Also, fucking Jared Leto is in this movie. Fucking Morbius himself is in this movie, and I completely and utterly didn't know that until I was looking at the cast list of you know, like, oh, you know, they do the cast scroll at the beginning of the movies of, like, Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, Helena Bonham Carter, you know, like, all those names. I fucking see Jared Leto at one point, and I was like, Jared Leto! Scared the shit out of me. I was like, what? Why is he here? He's like a minor character that doesn't play that big of a role in the movie, even though his character technically is the reason for a specific thing that crops up in the book. But, you know, let's not scrutinize on the details or anything. Also, his hair's blonde. They dyed his hair blonde, so I didn't recognize him at first. I was like... Took me a minute. I was like, what? Wait, Jared Leto? Also, Meatloaf? In this movie? I was like, what? Why Meatloaf, of all people? You know, the far-right conservative singer that played Eddie in Rocky Horror. Small world, you know? Small world. Oh my god. But yes, also, as I mentioned, Helena Bonham Carter is in this movie. I don't like Helena Bonham Carter. I think her acting is subpar. And the only reason that she kept getting gigs is because everyone thought she was pretty. So she kept getting cast in movies, and I just... Her acting, it doesn't help either that she's playing the role of, like, a Manic Pixie Dream Girl. Like, the original Manic Pixie Dream Girl that spurned on all the other ones. And she just, like... Her character also just kind of bugs me based on how she's written, because she's, like, written to be suicidal. And she goes through almost with a suicide attempt by overdosing on Xanax. And there's another character in it named Tyler Durden, who's played by Brad Pitt. Fucking double whammy. You get hit with Helena Bonham Carter and Brad Pitt. I know he was the guy in the 90s, but like, fuck. Brad Pitt, ugh. Anyway, he goes to, like, save her from herself, basically, from the fact that she's, doing this, like, suicide attempt. And then he, like, gets her out of there before the police come in to do a wellness check on her. And he gets her back to his place, and then she goes and says, "Oh, I can't go to sleep because that would mean I'm a goner, which means you have to keep me up all night to make sure I don't die." And then you know what they do? They go and they fuck all night. And it's the worst shit ever, because that's not what you do! If somebody's overdosing on Xanax, I don't think sex is gonna help keep them awake. Well, maybe, but also I don't think that's what I don't think that's a procedure you take when somebody is dying. For God's sake. I think fucking, I don't know, bro. I hated it. When I read it, I was like, why? Why? Ugh. And she's also generally written in the most annoying way, because I'm supposed to like her or think she's a pretentious shit. I don't fucking know. But like, also, I'm just like, she's in service to the man the whole book and the whole movie. So she doesn't have a character other than she likes to attend fucking, what are those things called? Support groups. Because she likes to see people dying for the hell of it, because she's also dying, so fuck it, am I right? I'm just like, ugh. Why? Ugh. It's so fucking dumb. You see, I have so many problems with this fucking thing. But just the philosophies of it, too, are just so... I don't know. There was at one point where Tyler was like, we are the men raised by single women who don't have fathers in our lives or whatever, talking about stupid bullshit like that. And I'm like, what's so wrong about being raised by a single mom? Does being raised by a single mom make you a terrorist? I don't fucking think so. I don't like where that line of thinking's going. It's just like one of those things that I just can't believe even exists. And I can't, and like, you know for a fact that if this movie made it into the hands of the general public as it is currently, in like incel culture, or alpha dude bro culture, you know, like of the fucking Andrew Tates of the world, they would be eating this shit up. They would be eating this shit up. They would love Tyler Durden, dude. Fucking, they would put him up on a pedestal like they do with fucking Norman Bates. Oh wait, that's the wrong guy. Not Norman. Wrong guy. The fucking guy from American Psycho. You know who I'm talking about. What is his name? I can't think of it right now. I see him in my head. I see him. I see him in my nightmares. But I see him. They're lifting him up like that, or you know, like the Matrix. I don't know. They might find Tyler to be a pussy. I don't fucking know. They might find him a motivational speaker. They might find him good. Or they might just find him to be a pussy. I don't fucking know how the alpha dude bro culture would take him. But in my mind's eye, they would love Tyler Durden. Anyway, hang on. I'm checking something real quick. Anyway, sorry. Right. Sorry, I just went on a fucking tirade about Fight Club forever. I don't like Fight Club. But the one part of it I do think is interesting is fucking, I'm just gonna start doodling. Don't mind me. I do the funniest part about it, and the part I think that is unintentional, is the weird sexual tension between Tyler Durden and the main character, which is helped by, like, the performance from Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. It's like, it's also like the main character's got a huge crush on him, in a way, because he seeks his validation all the time. So, I think there's one part of it, sorry, I, like, looked over, sorry for, like, the silence, I, like, looked over at my phone, I guess I got a notification. But, like, there's also one part of it where, fucking the main character talks about being dumped by Tyler because Tyler, like, disappears at one point. And he's like, damn, did I get dumped or what? I was like, oh, buddy. I think you got more than dumped, but, like, because I, like, know the twist of... I knew the twist of Fight Club going into the book, so, like... Yeah, anyway. I think I spent enough time sitting with Fight Club. I'm so sorry. I just... I saw red. I was just fucking... I'm so mad. I do not like Fight Club. I do not. Sure, it's got a lot of cool filming techniques and shit. I think it's an okay adaptation of the book for the most part. But, like... will it, like, stick with me and live in my philosophies? Am I gonna, like, hype this movie up as one of the greats? Fuck no. Hell no, man. I've seen way better movies than Fight Club. Especially at this point in my life. I have seen so many movies that could easily topple Fight Club in a best movie competition. So... I think I'm fine with letting that movie exist in 1999 and fading into oblivion. I hope it never gets a renaissance. I think, oh god, I hope I didn't speak it into existence. I hope I didn't speak it into existence. Fuck, oh no. Crossing a finger. Let's see. Right, okay, what else did I watch? Okay, this one actually was pretty good. This stream's just gonna be me chatting about all my movies that I watched recently, because we're doing catch-up! Yeah, catch-up! And not the condiment. My girlfriend and I recently watched Donnie Darko. Her for the first time, me, I was finally finishing the movie, because I started it, oh my god, I want to say like 5-6 years ago. How long ago was 2019? 5 years ago? Maybe sooner, 5-6 years ago? I can't fucking remember. But I had started it back in whatever, before the pandemic started. We started with someone that I was friends with at the time. Started that movie and never finished it because they got bored and wanted to watch something else. And I was like, okay. Which is kind of sad because I was vibing with it then. And let it sit for a really long time. Until finally, my girlfriend and I watched it. And... you know, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied I finally quelled my goddamn curiosity about that fucking movie. Because, like, I just wanted to know how it ended. Because we got, like, I don't know, 30 minutes in before eventually we had to dip out. Well, had to. We dipped out. But, man, there were so many twists and turns with that movie. It also was a little bit confusing. Oh, I almost said curiosity. It was a little bit confusing at points in terms of, like, its philosophy on time travel, which I think I need to go back and listen to because my girlfriend and I kind of talked over it a little bit. It's fine, we do that a lot. We talk over movies. made a joke at one point with her that, like, we're like those movie commentary channels at this point where we just kind of, like, make jokes and talk over movies, except we don't record it. We just do it in our own personal lives. That would be kind of fun. A little project for us to do. A little side project. I don't know if she would be up to do that, though. That would be funny. Just us starting a movie commentary channel together. Hello, moderator Leah. Welcome in. We're talking about movies. I just finished a rant about Fight Club. Then how much I fucking hated it. And you're just in time to hear my thoughts about Donnie Darko. Which, I'm just going over movies I watched recently. I really liked Donnie Darko. I liked it a lot. Although my girlfriend and I are in agreement that, we think the romance was not built up very well. Although I will say we watched the theatrical cut because we consulted Reddit, of all places, for, what version of Donnie Darko was best to watch, because, like, I remember there were different versions of it that were available, and people were saying, watch the theatrical cut, don't watch the director's cut, it kind of spoiled a bunch of stuff, or, like, over-explained things. I was like, okay, sure, and we watched it. What are those movie commentary channels, if not for pretending to have friends? Yeah, that's true. Oh, I'll have to see if that would be a fun thing she and I could do together. Yeah, so, but the romance in it was kind of, it was whatever. I'm Fight Club's biggest hater. This is a safe face. Let's fucking go! Thank you, Leah! I'm glad I'm not alone. I don't like Fight Club at all. But yeah, Donnie Darko, I liked it quite a bit. The romance was meh, but, it was very viscerally upsetting toward the latter end of this movie of Donnie Darko, just because of, like, what it insinuated. Oh, hello, I'm getting a DM. No, I'm not showing chat that! Oh my gosh. She sent me something to show chat, and I'm not showing you guys because there's no, I'm not doing that. Sweetheart, no, I'm not doing that. Anyway, it was a very visceral movie. Also, freaking lost my mind at the casting in Donnie Darko because, like, look, I don't like Jake Gyllenhaal, but he's okay in that role. As Donnie Darko, but fucking, okay, Patrick Swayze is in that movie, right? I was like, oh fuck, wait, Patrick Swayze? I was like, holy shit, Patrick Swayze? I didn't expect him to be in that movie at all. I was just fucking gobsmacked. I was like, what, huh? And then I saw that fucking Seth Rogen, I think it was in this movie. No, I'm just not showing it to chat, there's no point. I think it's Seth Rogen. Hang on, let me double check the Donnie Darko casting here. I think it's fucking... Hold on. Hold on. Hold. Everyone hold. Where are you? Is it Seth Rogen? Fucking IMDb, you need to get better at your fucking listing out cast people. Jesus. Hang on. Let me just do this. That's not what I meant. Yes, Seth Rogen is in that fucking movie. I was just like, okay, you know what? Sure. I do think Jake Gyllenhaal has done good in most movies I've seen him in. He's just kind of a weird... He's like... I don't like him. I really don't like him. But, and then, like, Drew Barrymore. I was like, oh, fucking Drew Barrymore. I kind of recognized her, although it was a little hard, given she's not blonde like she was in Scream. But fucking Ashley Tisdale? I saw Ashley Tisdale and I lost my mind. I was like, excuse me, is that Sharpay Evans? Is that what's-her-face from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody? And I paused it. I had to rewind that for my own sake. because I didn't believe it was him at first. Fucking, what, hang on. What, I always forget his name. Freaking Carly's brother? Carly's brother? From iCarly? Hold on. Good old Spencer, hang on. Hold on. What is his actor's name? No, I don't want the... Jerry Trainer! Jerry Trainer is in fucking Donnie Darko, and it jump scared the shit out of me. I was like, holy shit! Why is he here? Played a minor role, granted, but the same thing that Ashley Tisdale. I was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Also, James Duval's in this movie playing fucking, Frank. James Duval, my fucking beloved. My girlfriend didn't recognize him, but I know that fucking guy anywhere. That's what's his face from, the Doom Generation, which is the only Greg Araki film that she and I have watched. But I was like, I know that golden retriever boy anywhere. I know that face anywhere. I love him. Did a fantastic job. He's a very good actor. James Duval, my fucking beloved. Beloved, I love him very much. Where am I getting a DM? Topical image, I'm getting sent a meme. Thank you, Leah. You always come in with the good memes. The good memes. Oh my god. I loved it though, it was a good movie. I was just kind of baffled by the fucking casting choices. I was just thinking about my fucking reaction to seeing fucking Jerry Trainer. I was like, holy shit, that's Jerry Trainer! I got up out of my seat and I walked around my room. I was just fucking baffled. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Donnie Darko. I don't want to spoil it because you guys should go into that movie, like how I went into it without, context. Without knowing, like, what exactly is going on so that you get the best possible experience. But do be mindful that that movie also does have flashing lights, so if you are prone to, epileptic seizures, you have photosensitive epilepsy, then, like, steer clear. You know, I'm just doing... I am reporting which movies have flashing lights because I want to be sure that you guys are safe when watching them. And also if movies have things like self-harm or rape or anything like that. So just, like, don't worry. I'm gonna warn you guys ahead of time of that shit so that you guys aren't thrown off for a loop like I was in a lot of those instances. Especially if it's at, like, the forefront of the narrative. Oh, I also forgot to mention when I was talking about Jacob's Ladder, there was these kids, on the neighborhood stoop that, were, like, were kind of flirting with Jacob a little bit, and they went into a rendition of Mr. Postman, which my brain just snapped in and went, oh, they did the Beatles cover. The song that the Beatles covered. I went and I grabbed my fucking CD that I have that song is on to double check and went, yeah, that's that song. Wait a minute, hey, Mr. Postman. I was like, oh my god! This is like when I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer and they did that really bad cover of Hey Bulldog. Except that's way different because, hey, I Know What You Did Last Summer with Hey Bulldog, that was non-diegetic music and it sucked really bad. But that version of Please Mr. Postman, or Mr. Postman in general, and Jacob's Ladder was really good. Even if it was just a cappella, them singing. It just also brought me back to the volume, too. So, I have to find a way to squeeze the Beatles in. No, I'm not showing this, sweetheart. Stop. I watched Donnie Darko my freshman year of high school. My partner in my first career relationship, so I'll always associate with that era of clumsiness for me. That's so fair. There's a lot of movies that should have been pivotal for me in my like teenage years, but weren't. Except for Fight Club, for some fucking reason. Watching it when I was 13 did nothing for me, but I just remember so potently that I watched it 10 years ago. Anyway, I'm working my way backwards, by the way, for those of you who just came in. No, sweetheart, no. God damn it. She will, where there's a will, there's a way. She will find a way to post memes in chat, no matter fucking what. That's my girlfriend for you guys. Sweetheart. God damn it. Anyway. Anyway. The movie, so, right. The next movie I'm going to talk about is Immaculate, which is a newer movie that came out with Sydney Sweeney, for those of you who don't know. Sweetheart, god damn it. Look, I don't have an issue with Sydney Sweeney's acting. I think she did pretty good in the movie. I just have an issue with how the movie went in general. I did not like Immaculate. You did choose evil today. Diegetic music in movies that is implied to be played by a band in the movie almost always bad, in my opinion. Yeah. Right, but where was I? I lost my train of thought! Oh, yeah, Immaculate. I don't have an issue with her acting in that movie. I think she did pretty well, actually. Sydney Sweeney has always been a pretty good actress. I've never seen all of Euphoria. I did watch like one episode of it and had to stop because, oh my god, it hit me in the face with so much shit immediately. And then I never went back to it because, oh, I'm glad I dodged that bullet. But I've never had an issue with Sydney Sweeney as a whole, but in terms of her acting. But this movie, I just was like, yeah, alright. Because the premise of this movie is that Sydney Sweeney is a nun who goes into a nunnery where they're taking care of elderly nuns who are have Alzheimer's, who are on death's door. They're in hospice care essentially, but for the younger nuns are taking care of the older nuns, and so. Sydney Sweeney trying to escape like this, like her church is recently closed. It's just she's come all the way to Italy to care for all these older nuns, and then a bunch of shit happens that's very uncomfortable. Fight Club just reminds me of Angry Incel Men, difficult to get through. Dude, that is exactly what I said. I was like, dude, the fucking incels are like Andrew Tate's of the world would eat that movie up or find it to be pushy shit. I don't know. But, yeah. Immaculate. Sorry, I'm bouncing back and forth because there's a 20-second delay in chat and I'm responding back. You were drawing Bonnie from FNAF at first? No, I'm drawing Frank as best as I can remember. But I don't remember Frank very well. I'm so sorry, Frank. Yeah, Immaculate was just okay. Religious horror movies can be pretty good. But this one was not, it didn't hit the nail on the head. It's a bad satire of a thing, yeah. Good, you didn't need to see Fight Club, sweetheart. All roads lead back to Fight Club, apparently. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could have been something good. I feel like there was potential, definitely. But here's the thing. My idea of what Immaculate was going to be... Okay, I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. Basically, Sydney Sweeney's character is revered as, like, a holy figure because she's giving birth to... So she's basically Mary, and she's giving birth to Jesus again. So she's revered as like this holy mother who's giving giving birth. Non-consensual birth. What is that called? I can't fucking remember what that kind of birth is called. she's basically giving birth to Jesus again, and like held up, and everyone loves her. And at first, when they mentioned that, I thought it was gonna be they think it's Jesus, but it's actually the devil, and she's gonna give birth to the Antichrist. And her pregnancy is gonna give her all these complications, and everyone's telling her it's fine, but really she's giving birth to the Antichrist. I thought that's what was gonna happen, and you know, like all like Rosemary's Baby, kinda. But it didn't happen. I do think that the ending of that movie was very visceral. I'm glad that we never saw the baby at all. That's pretty good. I just found it very subpar. Just one of those movies that makes pregnancy out to be this very, like, terrifying thing. Which, yes, pregnancy is a terrifying thing. But at the same time, I don't know. At this point, it's like, you gotta push the envelope a little bit, or else you're just gonna kind of, like, retread already treaded ground, but kind of not do it very well. Because, like I said, Rosemary's Baby did a pretty good job about this already. Even though I fucking hate Roman Polanski, that man can fucking choke. That movie is very good at, for the most part, displaying the paranoias and the fears and the general anxieties and general, everyday activities, I guess, of a woman who's pregnant, who's struggling with the pregnancy. Also, that the fucking scene where, like, she's getting raped is very potent, even if there's nothing shown. And they do something kind of similar in Immaculate, so I'm giving you a heads up on that front. Nothing is shown, but it is implied that they violated her. And I just was like, oh, it's Rosemary's Baby. Like, there's clear inspiration there, but it just kind of felt like a rehash. If not, they didn't tread exactly on the same ground, per se, but they did go in a similar direction, if that makes any sense. On the topic of religious horror, I watched Heretic in theaters with a friend last week, and it was so bad that my friend and I are now closer, and our bond is strengthened due to our bad experience. Yeah, I've heard of Heretic, I think. It's that one that has the actor from Morris in it, I think. What was his name? Hugh Grant? That's the one with Hugh Grant in it, I think, right? I've heard mixed reviews about it, and I am so excited to see how bad it is. God, I need to see it. I need to see it. Also just because I like Hugh Grant. Fuck. Now, there's not much I can say about Immaculate, really. Oh, I will say, though, there is a scene that is... There's several scenes in this movie. There's just explicit gore, and there's a scene where a girl's face is just completely smashed in, so, like, be cautious. There's also heavy flashing lights in that movie as well. Not as heavy as the past movies that I've talked about, but, you know, pretty close. So just take caution, alright? Take caution before you go watch it. I've never seen Rosemary's Baby and avoided it because I know the director's a piece of shit. Is it actually worth watching? Look, I watched Rosemary's Baby, like, years ago. Fucking, he was good in it, at least, thank God. Hugh Grant, my beloved. Rosemary's Baby, God, it's been, like 2017, 2018 I watched it with some friends. It's a very well done movie for the most part. I do like Mia Farrow's performance in it. She does a very good job. She's just a good actress in general, I guess. No, yes, she is a good actress. Mia Farrow is very good in everything that she's done that I've seen her in, which is not much. I would be, like, on the tentative side of it, of course, because it is a man who is working with material that centers on a woman, so not all of the experience is directly one-to-one, per se. There is still some prejudices in there, as well as, like, general misconceptions, I would say. Like I said, it's not a perfect product. A lot of people think Rosemary's Baby is a perfect product, and I disagree. I politely disagree. But I would say, for the experience of it, it's worth at least a one-time watch. For you to determine yourself if you like it. Just the one time. But, like, don't buy it on from any official market. You know, go through outlets. Pirate it. That's what I'm saying. Just pirate it. What? I didn't say anything. First 30 minutes kind of rip, but it falls apart off like nothing I've ever seen. Just evolves into a Richard Dawkins lecture. Oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah. Anyway. That was immaculate. Very forgettable. I hate it. It should have been good, but, like... Oh, no, you know what else? This is also the other thing here. I thought I missed something with that movie, right? So, like, the day after I finished watching it, I watched the dead meat kill count on it, which is generally, like, I like not kill counts. Well, I've watched the kill counts here and there, but I like watching the Deadbeat podcast. I think those guys are pretty great, for the most part. Our opinions differ greatly in terms of horror movies. But I didn't miss anything, apparently. But also, fucking James, who does the kill counts, made 2 Beatles jokes in it. That one of them I made while watching, wherein, like, there's a Mother Superior, and my brain immediately thought of Happiness is a Warm Gun, so I was like, oh, Mother Superior, jump the gun. Like, I fucking was like, I mentioned that, and and then he made that same fucking joke. I was like, oh no, it's so predictable, though. No, he also made a joke about Blackbird, and also called the 4 nuns that are in the intro of the movie the 4 deranged Beatles, and I was like, what? Or like something, nun Beatles, something about the Beatles, and I was like, okay, sure, James, whatever you say, buddy. We were kind of on the same wavelength for a minute there, he and I making a joke about Happiness is a Warm Gun. I can't escape them. No matter what I do, I can't escape the fucking Beatles. No, they're the most popular band on Earth, but, like, goddamn, I can't escape. Anyway. Alright, okay. I'm just going through all the movies I've watched this month at this point, and I'll also bring up something that I really, really like that I think you guys should watch that isn't a movie, but is connected to a movie series. Okay, so, but yeah, then there's Long Legs, which is a movie I did anticipate. I was hearing good things about it. I kind of got melded into the propaganda from, mutuals, or not even mutuals, just people that I followed on Tumblr who were reposting stuff about the movie and making comparisons between it and Twin Peaks, like making comparisons of the main character's circumstances with Laura, and, like, comparing those two a little bit, and I was like, ooh, do we have ourselves a Lake Mungo situation, kinda? Where there's, like, inspiration from Twin Peaks? Or just thinly veiled allusions to it or something like that, or similar motifs. I was very excited about that, but I was given false advertising. Very, very false advertising. Watched this movie with my girlfriend. Most movies that I've watched are with my girlfriend. Because I'm like, sweetheart, what movie do you want to watch? And I give her, like, a list of movies, and she gets to pick out the ones that we watch. We watched Long Legs, and it was a movie. It was a movie. I also thought we missed some stuff because we talked through most of it, but I don't think we did. I can't draw a hobbit to save my life. I'm so sorry. Trying to draw a nun. It's not working. I'm just doodling. I'm not gonna do a lot of high effort doodles today because my hand hurts, so 6 out of 10 for me, beautifully shot and edited, but the plot's kind of a mess in my opinion. Like, yeah, we didn't like it. She and I just did not vibe with it. There were just a lot of questions. No, sweetheart, that's not your fault. We both did not like long legs. It's okay. We both we're not having a good time with that movie. Also, because we just kept getting distracted by the fact that Nick Cage was in this movie, and it was so distracting. There was also just a lot of continuity errors that, like, bothered us a lot, too. We were like, what the fuck does any of this mean? I was mostly the one that was questioning it, but she was backing me up and being like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, I can't even remember specifics anymore, because it's been that long since we watched it, and also it's just not that memorable. Like, it was a beautifully shot movie, I will say. I did like the cinematography. That's about it. Here's the thing, right? When you compare a character or, like, circumstances in movies to Twin Peaks, my first assumption is it's gonna be dreamlike, right? It's gonna be dreamlike, and it's going to be weird. I was already prepared for it to be a weird movie, but, like, it just didn't have that level of that really kind of, like, made it memorable in that way. I really like the opening scene. It had me so locked in, but once again, it falls off so hard. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, it's fine. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. How far behind are we? Still 20 seconds? Okay. I was like... We see his face for like half a second and it cuts to the title card. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Also, I mean, I will say the shots of Satan in this movie are really eerie, like with his like eyes peeping through the little cloak that he's wearing. Eerie. Very eerie. I will give it that. But like, oh man, it was just very not the best. I understand what it was trying to do. I did also watch the Dead Meat podcast episode of Long Legs on Long Legs, so I got a little bit more understanding of what happened, but like, it's still, I was just like, still. They liked it because it was like really cool. They just liked all the cool stuff that happened in it. Which is fine. We can disagree politely. I did not know though until, well actually I did know, but I just kind of accidentally pieced it to the wrong person, that Osgood Perkins was the director of this movie. And those of you who don't know, Osgood Perkins is the son of Anthony Perkins, who you may know from his most famous role as Norman Bates in Psycho. Yes, that Anthony Perkins. Look, I knew of Osgood Perkins, and I've known of him for a very long time, because there was a little mini-series on Shudder that talked about queerness and horror, and in one of the sections, in one of the episodes, they actually brought Osgood on to interview him about his dad, being that he's the only living relative or person that was close to him still alive. So he talked about his dad and his struggles with being outed and trying to live a normal family life, his contracting AIDS, and his eventual death. It was very heartbreaking, it was very sad, and I highly recommend you watch it, honestly. It's worth it. That whole series in general is pretty okay. I wouldn't say it's the best. They're kind of reaching sometimes. But if anything, I would suggest it just for that little portion where Osgood talks about his dad in general. It's very heartbreaking, it's very sad, but it's also very insightful about a man that not a lot of us knew a lot about, because we predominantly knew him from his one role as Norman Bates in Psycho. So, there you go, you get to learn some more stuff. I did like the cool stuff. I just found the plot and reveals to be deeply unsatisfying. Yeah, that's fair. I dislike Psycho quite a bit on principle, but I do acknowledge its historical impact. I mean, I will say I'm not the biggest Psycho fan, but I do like Anthony Perkins in that movie. I think he did a pretty good job in that movie in particular. It is just a shame what happened to him, though. Nobody deserves to be outed like that. And there is a lot of themes in Longlegs about parents keeping information from their kids, and, you know, like the parental sacrifices that, are made for kids, and how parents may see that as being ungrateful when kids get older. Some themes in that vein. It's not necessarily exactly what I'm saying, but you know, something in that vein, and that I think I can tell that that's very deeply personal to Osgood, and I can only hope that I don't know, that the guy's next feature is even better, because like he has potential. I can definitely see the potential in his directorial debut in Longlegs. I just think he needs a little bit of a shove in the right direction. In terms of his writing, you know, in terms of generally keeping a more consistent plot, because, like, he's got a good structure going. He just kind of needs to nudge it in a direction where it keeps an audience's attention. You know what I mean? But still, yeah. I have the same problem with it as Silence of the Lambs, like, man dressed as a woman, isn't that fucked up and scary? I don't know, it just kind of makes me feel weird. The interesting thing about the difference between Psycho and Silence of the Lambs, not that I'm defending either of them for that, because yeah, that is awful and fucked up, and I hate that that is a thing, that it's just like, ooh, trans women, scary, ugh. The interesting thing about Silence of the Lambs is it does make a concerted effort to distinguish Buffalo Bill from trans women and say that he is not a trans woman and that he doesn't associate with trans women, and to not let people do that either, because the trans community does not represent him, nor does he represent the trans community, because he's not trans. Like, it is mentioned in that movie, I'm fairly certain, but it's still, you know, it still falls into similar tropes regardless. No matter how hard they try. The effort is there, it's just not, they just still kind of veer into it anyway. In any case. Nick Cage was so weird in Longlegs. It was very distracting. I was like, damn, he's just camping it up, huh? I do not like Nick Cage very much either. But, you know, I acknowledge that he has very much has had an impact on a lot of our lives and a lot of things we've seen growing up. The king, he's just the king of camp in a lot of people's eyes, and I understand that, and I get it. I'm just like, brother, Jesus Christ. I know that that's the point, that he was supposed to be camping it up on purpose, but, like, goddamn, was it just so distracting. I just can't unsee Nick Cage. I can't. I'm like, fuck, that's just Nick Cage, alright. It's mentioned in the movie, yeah, but it still does all the tropes, I don't know, yeah. I know, that's what I mean. Makes an effort, but still falls into its pitfalls regardless. What if I had a ponytail and stared at you? It does. No, I'm not drawing you, sweetheart. I'm drawing the girl from Longlegs. Nick Cage really, yeah, he did take me out of that movie. He really did. Oh my god. The makeup also was just over the top, too. I was just like, damn. Alright. Okay. Anyway, I think I'll stop rambling on about Longlegs now, because I don't have much else to say about it. I'm also just sad that I got catfished about the comparisons to Twin Peaks, because there's like virtually nothing, man. The themes that are in Twin Peaks and the themes that are in Longlegs are vastly different, sans the like parent shit that's going on in both of them. But the parent shit that's going on in both of them are vastly different, and so it's like, I don't know, man, you threw me for a loop. and I don't like it. I know he's implied to have had plastic surgery or whatever to be a glam rock dude, but he still looks crazy. I know. I was just like, whoa, bro, alright, sure. Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna skip, I showed my girlfriend, Monty Python and the Holy Grail for the first time because she hadn't seen it, and she was like wanting to watch a comedy that day, and I remember she mentioned when we watched, oh, Jesus. We did a double feature one time of Blazing Saddles and Spaceballs. So she wanted something similar to that, and I was like, fuck it, Monty Python. So I showed her Monty Python and the Holy Grail for the first time. Which also, weird fun fact that I know, George, our beloved boy George, funded Monty Python's troupe. So he's appeared in a couple of their sketches, and also generally was the one that paid for most of, or like kickstarted their careers, or just generally like helped them through financing some of their movies. So fun little fact I knew, because he was friends with them. There you go, a little fun fact. There's a little fun fact for you all. Anyway, right, in the last movie, before I talk about the other thing that I wanted to talk about that's not a movie, that I watched this month, was I rewatched, for the first time in a couple years, I rewatched Audition! That's true. I've shown you so many movies now, sweetheart. Look at you now, you're a movie superstar! Because I know so many goddamn movies, God help me, anyway. I rewatched Audition, because I didn't remember shit about that movie forever, and I remember reading the book and hating it. So well, I was like, fuck, okay, maybe the movie is better, and I rewatched it and I was like, okay, this is it was I know a lot of people are freaked out by that movie, and I get it, but to me, I'm just like, it's fucked up in a lot of parts, absolutely, but I just was like, I don't know. I guess I'm like, I don't know. It's okay for me, and I just wasn't dazzled by it the second time I watched it, because like, I fucking hate the main character, and that is the point of it. But also, I do not like the girl either. God, I hate that I can't remember their names. I feel so bad. The acting is pretty good in the movie. But also, I was just wildly uncomfortable sometimes. But also just was kind of like, in a lot of portions. It just kind of... It was better than the book. I will say, it was better than the book. But I just also was not... I was just like lukewarm on it on a rewatch. I thought it would be a lot better and more trippy the second time that I watched it, because I remember having no fucking clue what was going on the first time I watched it, because I think we got a bad translation of it when I watched it with my someone I was friends with at the time. But then watching it again with proper subtitles, I was just still like, The scene where she's just sitting in her house with the sack waiting for the phone to ring. Yeah, I mean, that one's a bit... I was like, yeah, that's a bit... Yeah, I don't know. It also just kind of was hard to like separate the movie from the book after having read it, because the book itself has such like anti-women sentiment. Because she doesn't win in the book either, as far as I'm aware, but she's eliminated a lot more brutally in the book than she is in the movie, I think. Unless I'm misremembering, but it's been so long since I read the book, and I kind of put it out of my memory because I was just like, ugh. It's also implied that she's like underaged, I think, in the book, which doesn't help. And there's also just some graphic fucking sex scenes in the book as well. That just made me very uncomfortable with that knowledge. So, it was very not fun. Not fun at all. Didn't even know it was based on a book. I didn't know either. I saw it in my library one time, and I was like, oh, wait, is it that one book? Is it that one movie about fucking that girl the guy that auditions girls to be his new wife or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I read it and I was like, oh, what the fuck? You can very much tell that that book's written by a man. Ugh. So it's hard to differentiate, separate rather, the movie from its origins, because some of it kind of leaks through, and it's uncomfortable. So yeah, I was lukewarm on the movie. There are some nice shots in it. There's a portion of it that's very trippy that I remember watching the first time that I now understood the context for. Oh wait, shit. I'm trying to do the needle that she has. The fucking syringe. But yeah, I don't remember much of it. Also, it just immediately left my brain after I watched it. I feel bad. I feel really bad, but also I was like, yeah, this movie is, okay. Men writing women is always cringe. Yep. Yep. Very, very yikes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't remember much about Audition, I'm gonna be so honest, and I feel bad, I already forgot. Anyway, maybe I'll have to re-watch it again. Maybe I'm missing something, I don't know. But in any case, there is, so, okay. I don't remember if I've talked to you guys about, Creep or not, because, okay, here's the run-through of that. My girlfriend and I watched Creep together, because I put Creep in our little list of movies to watch together, because I heard pretty good things about it. So, she and I watched it. She wasn't very keen on it. I loved it, personally. Then we watched the second movie. The second movie was, but I still really liked it. As it turns out, the creators of Creep, making a TV show. Yes, like the found footage movie. They're making a TV show, and it's on, currently it's on Shudder, and guess what? It's out now, guys. I actually found out about it. I randomly opened Shudder one day because I was like, oh, I'm in the mood to watch a horror movie. So I opened Shudder because I hadn't used it in a little bit. And lo and behold, on the front page, I see the Creep tapes. And I was like, oh, the TV show's out finally! And it had 2 episodes out already, which I wasn't aware that there were already 2 episodes in, and I watched both of them. And I love it! I love it, dude. Oh my god, I love it so much. Look. If you weren't convinced by the first 2 movies, I think you should watch the TV show. Because it's just these little bite-sized 20-minute episodes of almost the exact same thing. Well, not almost. Pretty much the same thing that happened in the first 2 movies, but, like, shorter. In a bite-sized level, because it's just basically the premise is like going through all the tapes that he's got stored in his stupid little cabinet in his house or whatever of all the victims that he's killed, and you're going through them one by one and seeing what happened to them and all the stupid little lies that he makes up, and I love it. The main actor in Creep is really good. It makes me uncomfortable as fuck. I can totally understand how it can wrap around to being funny to some folks, though. Oh hell, dude, it is very uncomfortable, but also I find him so funny. I do. I'm one of those people that find his performance funny. I do. I love him. I think his name is Mark Duplass. Oh my god, I fucking love him. He's so good. My girlfriend didn't really like it, though. She was like, he's a pathetic little guy. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point. That's the point. He's supposed to be pathetic. Thank you. I really enjoyed the first one. The second one I don't care as much for. Yeah, that's fair. I liked the first one too. The second one I was a little bit like meh about, but I still liked it, for what it was. But yeah, I love the TV show so far. There's 4 episodes in. The 4th episode just came out recently. I'm still trying to figure out the schedule for it. for what day it's posted, being posted. But like, fuck. I will say, so far, in terms of my favorite episodes so far of the Creep Tapes, I think the second and the third ones are the strongest. The fourth one was like, it was okay. I mean, it was still pretty good, but it was still like, could have been a little bit more, held a little bit more oomph, I guess. But, oh my god, the second and the third ones are they're my favorites so far. They're my favorites. He's a pathetic little guy, and he could also murder me at any moment, and that's embarrassing. Exactly. He could catch me off guard at any time. But yeah, I love them. The second one in particular is about him, pretending to try to sue this, like, parachute company, or skydiving company, and it's so good. He runs into, like, a bird watcher. There's a part in it where he's like, I need you to admit that you're obsessed with me! After he takes his car. Oh, I love it. It's so good. I love it so bad. I need to get a hold of my friend because I remember we talked about Creep at one point. And they also told me that they loved Creep. So I was like, dude, okay. I need to get a hold of them and be like, hey, the Creep Tapes are out. Please go watch it so we can have a conversation together about it. Oh, I love it so much. I'm obsessed with the show. I'm sorry. I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. Like, every little bit of it is good. He's... that actor who plays that character, he was made for that role, man. He was made for it. It was his life's destiny to play a pathetic little man that keeps seducing random men and making them come out to his house, quote unquote his house. It's great. Highly recommend. Also watch Creep. Please watch Creep. Need more people on the Creep train, please. It's so good. I have a, like, love-hate relationship with found footage films, but trust me, the way that Creep plays with found footage and how it comes about in the first place is stellar. Stellar, I'm telling you. It's great, it makes sense, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. At least for me. Also, I just like the main actor a lot. I can't imagine him as anyone else now. If I see him in anything else, I'd be like, Creep guy. I know! I'll be like, where the fuck's Peach Fuzz? Peach Fuzz is my beloved. Oh, I was also gonna say, at the end, like in the credits, I found, actually, because I'm watching this off of Shudder, and Shudder's really weird about stuff that you're watching. Like, if you leave when the credits start, it'll keep it in your continue watching and not get rid of it, which I hate. So I have to skim all the way to the very, very end of the shit for it to, like, not register it anymore. Because I don't want it to stay in my watch later, even though I've finished it. So I found that in scrubbing it to the very end, they actually do the bare minimum of doing a land acknowledgement for every single filming location that they were at, and they acknowledge the tribal peoples that live on the lands that they're filming on, which is like bare minimum. But I have never seen that before. Never seen that before for a movie or a TV show whatsoever. So I was just like, oh, well, alright, shit, okay, cool. That's cool, actually. Whoa. Bare minimum, like I'm telling you, it's bare minimum, but it's still like, still pretty cool. When are you gonna stand in front of a door in your Peach Fuzz mask? I will say Peach Fuzz does make an appearance in the Creep Tapes a couple of times. So you guys are getting your Peach Fuzz fill. And it also made me super happy when I saw Peach Fuzz. I was like, oh, Peach Fuzz! You're back! Oh my god! It's like seeing a lost friend that you haven't seen forever. Oh my god, it's great. Sorry, I could gush forever about it. I love it so much. I'm not a TV show watcher. I really don't watch TV shows all that often. Ask my girlfriend. We still haven't finished Breaking Bad. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. But I don't know what it is about this fucking show. I'm just tuned in. I'm tuned in for it every week, dude. I'm like, okay, what stupid shenanigans is he gonna get into this time? What did I knock over? What did I knock over? Hold on, I knocked something over and oh, I knocked the pin over. Whoops. Get that back on my desk. My bad. I got a little too overexcited there. Oopsie poopsies. Sorry, sweetheart. We will finish Breaking Bad at one point, I promise. I'm just stupid. I'm sorry. That's cool. Let's see. Hold on. I messed up chat. Sorry. There you go. Anyway. Okay. What else? Oh, okay, so I mentioned this earlier, but for those of you who don't know, I'm writing something currently where I need to watch stuff that has body horror, but explicitly body horror where faces are melting, because I need to know what it looks like so I can write it properly. Who is he gonna make uncomfortable and pressure into a situation where they get murdered this time? Exactly. I need to watch stuff like that, and I don't like body horror whatsoever. It's my least favorite genre of horror because it makes me incredibly uncomfortable. But I have to for the thing I'm writing because, okay, I'll give you a small snippet of what it is I'm writing. There's basically these two people who get high as hell on acid, and something goes wrong. They're on a bad trip, and they think that they're dying, and in the process of that, because they're so intertwined with one another and they love each other a lot, even though they can't admit it because they're stupid, they think this is their last moments alive, so they bump uglies, quote unquote. And in the process of doing so, there's like a dual POV where the one on the bottom's face is melting, so it appears to the person on the top. And the person on top to the bottom, the person on the bottom is this like shadow figure with pinhole eyes that are pinning this person down and they can't move, but they keep going at it anyway. So I need to know what a face melting looks like. Sorry, I just wasn't drawing the whole time because I was talking with my hands, and also I needed to give my hand a break. But yeah, I need to watch body horror to figure out what a face melting looks like in as accurate a way as I possibly can, so that I can, because I can't, it's not just an issue of writing it, I just need to see what it looks like so that I can figure out how to write it, you know what I mean? Which is why I initially started this off by talking about Jacob's Ladder, because I thought that's what I was going to get, and that isn't what I got. So I inquired to some of my mutuals about it on Tumblr, and one person actually told me that there's an episode of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities that has a melting face in it, and they told me explicitly what episode it was, and I went and I watched it this morning. 9 in the morning, 9:10 in the morning, I watched it, and by God, Jesus Christ. There's a scene where someone's head kind of melts in Hostel, unfortunately. Oh, I'm not gonna watch that. But I did watch Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, which I have been meaning to watch forever, so I guess gave me a bit of an excuse on how, on watching it, and like, I'm gonna tell you now, don't do what I did and watch that at like 9 in the morning, because it will trip you the fuck out, and it is also very visceral. There is a lot of drug use that goes on in this this like episode, this little short film. There's a lot of drugs going on. Not the drug I explicitly am writing about. But still, and also there is a lot of face melting and a lot of gore, so no, I do not recommend you watch it. Also a lot of flashing lights, so 0 out of 10 for people with photosensitive epilepsy. I like Junji Ito's work a lot, and Tetsuo the Iron Man has a lot kind of basic choices for body horror, but what can I say? That's fair. I think I have a vague memory of watching Tetsuo the Iron Man. Either that or it's Ichi the Killer. One of those two. I think it was Ichi the Killer, but I have wanted to watch Tetsuo the Iron Man for a while. For a while, excuse me. And I have delved into Junji Ito's work before. I know what you mean. He does have a lot of viscerally upsetting shit that I could look into. But I need to see it, like, happening. I can't just look at an image of it, because that's, like, one and done. But I just needed to see it happen, and I did see it happen, and oh my god, it fucked me up. It fucked me up bad, because, like, the premise of it is, like, there's these groups of these 4 people that get picked for a quote-unquote viewing, and they're shipped off to this rich old man's house, and they get fucked up on all kinds of alcohol and drugs, and they all have these different things that they're good at. One of them's an author, another one's a psychic, another one's an astrophysicist, and the last one is a music producer who's played by Eric Andre of all people, and it threw me off the whole he's very good in it, I will say, he's very good in it. But it threw me off, because the whole fucking time, I just saw Eric Andre. I was just hearing, Google, show me a picture of this man's balls. The whole fucking time. God. Yes, The Thing does count as body horror. I have tried to watch The Thing in the past. It made me sick, so I'm not trying to watch that again. Also, I'm not gonna watch any Saw movies either. No offense, I'm not a huge fan of Saw. I do know that the lead singer of Linkin Park is in one of them, though, and that always freaks me the fuck out. I'm like, Chester, what are you doing there? Yeah, yeah, it was an interesting... It does make me want to watch more and understand what it is this little series is about, because I started on the 7th episode, which is the second to last. There's only 8 episodes in that series, but I love Guillermo del Toro. He's a good horror director. I've loved all of the stuff that I've watched from him, which is Pan's Labyrinth and Shape of Water, and I've been meaning to watch... Oh, I think I watched Crimson Peak. I didn't care much for Crimson Peak. I've also watched the Pinocchio thing that he did, but I know you got a lot of guest directors on that show, but yeah. Best actor in Saw 7, unironically. See, I told you he was part of a Saw movie. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that definitely quelled my curiosity about what a melting face looks like, definitely. But also, it kind of made me sad, because it was melting in a way... Sorry, I'm not drawing right now. I needed my hand to my hand needs a break. Sorry, I'm just gonna talk for a second. Hang on, wait, I'll write a little note in case people join. Resting... hand... right now, smile. Ugliest little smile I've ever drawn. I can do better than that. Nope, still bad. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, so, but, the way that face melted was very unsatisfying to me personally, because the way I see a melting face, and this is going to be really visceral, I'm so sorry, and it's going to be a little funky, give me a moment. The thing is, when I see a face that's melting, I see ooze. You know what I mean? I see, like, goop. I see goo. I see the skin slipping off like it's made of, not meat exactly, you know what I mean? It's just like a material. It's just made of material that's not skin, or it just like peels back, like a bit. You know, I don't know. I just have a different picture of it in my head than when I saw it, because like I guess I did get what I wanted, but it just melted like it was like a candle. It just melted like it was like a candle, and I was just like, oh, okay. Sure. The only Guillermo del Toro movie I've ever seen is The Devil's Backbone, and I loved it. I need to watch his stuff more. Please do. Please. Watch Pan's Labyrinth. It's probably his best work to date, honestly. It's such a beautiful, visceral, like, upsetting piece of art, but it is also very beautiful. I adore Pan's Labyrinth a lot. It's probably my... It's my... I was gonna say second favorite? No, it is my favorite Guillermo del Toro that I've seen. Probably the first one, it was gonna be like Shape of Water, but all honesty, it's probably like the Pinocchio adaptation that he did. That fucking movie made me cry. It was so good. It was so beautiful. Good God. Because what was it? It was like it was talking about all of the, it mentioned, oh god, I'm struggling because it's been so fucking long. It was like, there was like Mussolini and like the dictatorship in Italy and war. There's a lot of anti-war sentiment in it, I remember. It was just so good. I loved it so much. Shape of Water is also very good. I need to watch it again. It's been so long since I've seen it. But yeah. There's a scene in the Netflix Hill House adaptation where a guy describes someone's eyes melting out of their face like runny eggs, and it stuck with me a lot. Yeah. I mean, the thing, I just want the face, not necessarily the eyes, because I thought it would be more visceral to keep the eyes in the head, so that the eyes are, like, scrutinizing. It's, like, on purpose, but, like, I get that. Ugh, like, I don't know. I have seen an eyeball get ripped out of a person's head before, so I know what that looks like. Not real life, no, like in movies. Good God, I didn't see that. Actually. I don't know. The Devil's Backbone bummed me the fuck out. I have been so afraid to watch that movie, actually. I've heard good things about it, but I've also heard it's a bummer. And I'm trying to be careful about what movies I watch that are bummers so that I don't accidentally depress myself. Because I think the last time I did that with a movie, what was it? Good God, what movie was it that depressed me so bad? I was like, fuck, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I can't remember. Oh, you know what? It might have been I Saw the TV Glow. I've seen that movie 3 fucking times now. I have a problem. It's... I don't know. The worst thing I did ever was watch I Saw the TV Glow on election night. I shouldn't have did that, but I did anyway. I love I Saw the TV Glow. I don't know why I've seen it so many times. It's just so upsetting. Anyway, what other movies do I have that I can talk to you guys about that I've watched recently? I don't think I have that many. Because I talked to you guys about all the movies that I watched for this month. Oh shit, that's the wrong thing. Come back to me! That's all the things I have to talk to you guys about in terms of movies for, November. I haven't watched a whole bunch of them. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wait. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I watched 7 movies this month. There's still so many I need to watch. There's like a list that I keep for my girlfriend and I for movies to watch together, and there's like 88 movies in there. and I just keep adding movies occasionally. It's funny because I put Whiplash in there, and she's like, "What? Whiplash?" She mistook a movie for something else, and it's just really funny. I Saw the TV Glow is a perfect movie, and I love it so much. It's amazing, and I've shown it to everyone who will watch it with me. Yeah, it's a very good movie. I remember the first time my girlfriend and I watched it, I just, like, sat there and cried. Okay, I've rested my hand enough. Okay. I don't know why my brain wants to default to talking about the Beatles now. My brain's like, fuck, I want to talk about the Beatles. I guess I could talk about the Beatles because, good news, everyone. I actually found the George ending for the Beatles dating sim. I found the George ending. It was in the option. It was one of the options that I didn't pick in the kitchen. There was 3 options there, and it was one of them I didn't pick because I was stupid and I didn't see it. I just didn't remember it, or just didn't care to remember it. But I did record myself going through that ending. And I have the footage of it. It's the raw reaction to it. I will post it eventually. I promise I'm not gonna, like, skimp out on you guys on that one. But I'm not gonna spoil it per se, but, like, let me just say it is such a stark difference to the rest of that game. It's crazy, honestly. It was probably... I don't know. It was just, I was like, huh. Oh, this is what, oh, okay. I was just thrown off guard by the fact that it was just not like the rest of the game. Which reminds me, I also did replay like, the endings of that game. Because I just was like, I don't know, I thought the whole thing was a fever dream and I wanted to go through it again. And I gave myself psychic damage a second time. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Where's just the regular... I can't remember. That's not it either. Shucks. Oh, whatever, it's fine. But I gave myself psychic damage a second time playing that game. Oh my god. That fucking game, it's so... I think about it so much nowadays. So much. You're re-traumatizing yourself? Yes, I re-traumatized myself for the sake of content. But also just because I was, like, incredulous. I did not think that what we went through was real. I thought I imagined it, and I popped the thing back in and did it again and went, yep, it is exactly as I remember it. Good God, get me out of here. The thing is, too, I found the person who made the game. I found their Tumblr. And their art differs so greatly. Like, their actual serious art differs greatly from the art style that they had for the game. Like, it's the same for the most part, but, like, they did a pinup drawing for Halloween of Paul as, like, a sexy witch, and it looks so fucking different from their actual art of Paul. It's fucking crazy. So shout out to them. They were so... Fuck! Oh no! He got me up out of my chair again. I'm thinking about the fucking fact that he honked my tits, dude. Oh my god. Oops, I knocked over Draculaura. Draculaura had to face my fucking... my wrath. I'm so sorry, my dear. Honk. I can't believe he honked my tits. I still can't believe it. I still also can't believe that John called me his mom in the middle of sex or sat in the cuck chair. The fucking cuck chair. Oh my god, the cuck chair! I think about the fact that he sat in the cuck chair while Paul had sex with us all the fucking time. I see it. I'm seeing it right now. I'm seeing him. I'm seeing him sat in this fucking, like, chair. This shittiest art rendition of my life. Fuck it, there's just... it's just... Fuck, hold on. I got it, I swear. A shitty rendition of him in the cuck chair. Just him. I'm so sorry. I don't know what possessed me. I had to draw him in the cuck chair. Even if it was shitty. To be fair, if there's a Beatles member who was sitting in the cuck chair, it's 100% John. Oh my god, yeah. It is. You can't convince me that he hasn't done that at one point. You can't convince me that he hasn't done that at one point. I'm working under the assumption that that is a true fact about him, unless proven false. You know, it's like innocent until proven guilty, innocent until proven false. Like, everyone laughing at me drawing John in the cuck chair. Fuck. God. Oh my god. You know, wait. They did technically. There were several instances of cucking. I totally forgot. Or at least somewhat cucking. Okay, give me a second. I have to get out of my chair for this one. I have to stand up and walk, but I'll bring the mic with me so that I'm not leaving you guys behind. There were instances of cucking. I do remember this. Because when they were in Hamburg, they had to share a room together with bunk beds because of a fucking, like, the contract they had was shit. And they were in behind a theater near the bathrooms. And so they had, like, 2 sets of bunk beds and there were 5 people. So technically, when they brought girls back, there was instances of cucking. There was one instance where they literally applauded after George finished fucking a girl, I'm pretty sure. And I hate that I remember that. Every stupid, useless fact is coming back to me. Oh, it's a curse. It's a curse, I tell you. It's a fucking curse. What have I gotten myself into? You know, I was info dumping to my mom one time. In the car. She was taking me somewhere. And I just info dumped to her about all this shit I knew about the Beatles. And she just looked at me and was like, how do you know so much? And I'm like, it's a curse. It's like falling down a pit. Like a rabbit hole. Once you start looking into one thing, you cannot help but go down a different rabbit hole. Because everything is connected in some way. I fucking hate it here. I hate it here so fucking bad, dude. Oh my... I'm so sorry I'm not drawing. Those of you in the audience that are still even here, I'm so sorry you're not getting the intended doodles, but I'm literally standing up beside my desk, right next to the edge of my bed here, and I am, like... I can't sit down right now. I can't. I'm sorry. I need to stand up, because, oh my god... I hate all these useless facts that live in my brain. I should have normal knowledge in my head about literally anything else. But instead it's just filled with stupid, useless Beatle knowledge. Anyway, I'm gonna sit down now. Sorry. Sorry that you all had to know that, by the way. What is happening? Ringo ending. Imagine crying. Ringo is rubbing your back and begins to tear. Tear? Please, baby, tell me what's wrong. It breaks my heart to see you cry. Oh my god. One of my favorite things my girlfriend's ever said is Ringo his real name? I love favorite thing that she's ever said. And no, that's not me mocking her. I genuinely found it funny as hell. She thought that he legally changed his name to Ringo, and it's like, no. That's just his stage name. Favorite thing in the world. I love her so much. My girlfriend, everybody. She's the love of my life. I sound facetious. I mean that literally. I love her so much. Who else would just say such stuff like that? That makes me laugh so fucking hard. God, I love her so much. I've said funnier things. You have said funnier things, like the angel shit. I can't remember what you said in the car that one time about angels, and it fucking literally almost made me piss myself. Oh my god. But I did think the Ringo thing was amusing, okay? It was funny, alright? Everyone in the car was cracking up at it, alright? Oh my god, I'm losing my ability to draw because I've literally just... I've lost my ability to draw, shit, oh no. This is what happens, it's the curse, I tell you, it's the fucking curse. Every so often I'll get a spark of inspiration and then suddenly it disappears. Actually, hold on. Leah, you didn't see this. I drew a thing for George's death anniversary the other day and you didn't get to see it. Hold on, I'll show it to you. I know you could just go through the VOD and see it. But, I'll save you the hassle. Traffic lights from astigmatism angels. Yes, you did. Anyway, here's the thing that here's the piece I drew for George's death anniversary the other day. This is for Leah, by the way. I'm showing this for Leah because she didn't get to see it. I want to show it to her so she doesn't have to go through the whole VOD to see it. So there you go. I drew this the other day, and I thought you would like it, or like to see it anyway. It took 5 hours to draw this thing. 5 hours! Oh my god. That's lovely. Thank you. 5 hours of hard work to get this damn thing out there. I'm so glad I got it out there, though. Also, I had to, like, hide the URL that was in there, the copyright, because that was the thing for my Beatles blog. Nobody saw that, by the way. Nobody saw that. Wink. Please don't follow my Beatles blog on Tumblr. Please, God, I would die. Nobody needs to see what I post on there, damn you. Anyway, God. Yeah, I was having a lot of emotions the other day for George's death. It's crazy to think about the fact that I was a year old when he died. I was alive. I was alive at the same time he was. That's so, and I don't have any memories because I didn't know who the fuck he was because I was an infant. And that kind of makes me sad. I was also just really entirely conflicted about missing someone I never knew. Too. Because, like, look, I'm gonna get it out of the way. Yes, none of the Beatles were good people. None of them were good people. Not even the one you may think is a good person. None of them were. All of them sucked. Major ass. It was just still one of those moments where I just sat there and I was like, should I miss him? Is it one of those instances where it's okay to miss him? I just had no fucking clue. So I just kind of let myself sit in confliction the whole day. I was negative a year old. Yeah, you were non-existent, yeah. But yeah, it was an interesting day. It's gonna be an even more interesting day when it's George's birthday, because he was born a day before me, several decades before me. We're both February babies, and that makes me... I'm just like, wow. Huh. That's... wow. It's so rare that there's people that are born in the same block of days as me and or has the same birthday as me. My birthday is just not that common. So, like, the fact that he was born a day before me on the 25th and I was 26th, God, it's gonna be so weird. It's gonna be so weird. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. We'll just have to see. Maybe I'll make something for his birthday. I don't know. Might not. Anyway. Yeah. I'm gonna erase this hand because I hate it. Fuck, I hate drawing hands. I'm just gonna just insert. Oh my god. Insert hand here. Hello, hello, welcome in. I'm talking about the Beatles. When am I not? You know what interesting thing is, right? I've talked before about the weird dynamics. I've talked before about the weird dynamics between Paul and John. Not at length, granted, but I've talked about them here and there, and like how fascinating it is, how just weird they were about each other. And I hate also that it's kind of reaching the mainstream, because like there's a video that was published not too long ago by Uncarly. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen her videos. I'm not a huge fan of her in particular, because I have seen her content before in the past, before she pivoted to being a like pop culture analyst, armchair analyst. She was a failed booktuber who was, in my opinion, very pretentiously like going over classical literature, and also was just deeply obsessed with doing like celebrity books. What celebrities have read what books? God, why was that sentence so hard to get out? What celebrities have read what books, and then she would just like fucking read them, which is an interesting concept, but like a lot of the time she loved the books that were being read, and I just was like, okay, sure. Sent you one of her vids without watching it, and then quickly got school. yeah. I wouldn't say school. I just wanted to like inform you about who she was before you started like going on about her in a positive way. I don't care much for her. She's got a very specific attitude that I don't care much for. That's what really turns me off to her. But she did recently make a video about John and Paul and speculated whether or not they were in some kind of romantic sexual relationship with one another. And she got the most basic facts wrong, from what I understand. I have not seen the video. I did not watch it. I refuse to watch Uncarly content. I don't want to watch her videos anymore. I've moved past her at this point. But, I did see a clip that was circulating through my circle of mutuals about her talking about them in Hamburg, where instead of Hamburg, she said they were in Berlin, which is factually incorrect. And the most basic of research would tell you that is incorrect. Which just proves that she didn't actually fucking care. She just kind of wanted to jump on a topic for the sake of jumping on it. Like, sweetheart, no. I wonder if that video's still up, actually. Let me check. I wonder. I'm gonna open an incognito tab because I don't want this in my search history. We're going into spy mode, my friends. We're spying on YouTube user Uncarly. Let me mute this. Oh, it's still up. And it has significantly less views than a lot of her other videos. It has more views than her fucking weird video about Harry Potter. Or whatever the fucking... whatever that spin-off is of it. Fantastic Beasts? Yeah. But all the other videos, there's like... It did not do well. I wonder how many dislikes it has. She has dislikes disabled. Oh no. Oh no, she has dislikes disabled. Okay. That's so funny. That's so funny. Berlin is genuinely an insane mistake to make. I knew they were in Hamburg even before getting into their music properly as an adult. It's just common knowledge. Okay, she put a note. She put a pinned comment up. I'm gonna read the pinned comment and see what we think. Apparently this is making the rounds on Beatles Twitter, so let me issue a series of corrections. Oh boy, she's issuing corrections. Also, this did make the rounds on Beatles Twitter, but it also made the rounds on Beatles Tumblr, and we reamed the fuck out of her. 1. This is just a silly little video I wanted to make about something I found really interesting. It is in no way a historical record. It's just a funny little video. Honey, you gotta get your facts right. I'm so sorry, but like, actually, silly little video, my ass. That doesn't... I'm taking a detour. I'm so sorry, but like, this is important. You should do your research, even for silly little videos, because like, that's important, especially when it's real people. Crazy. I am merely a jester. Okay. I also have dysnomia, so some of the dates are fudged, but the heart of the video still stands, so please leave your straw man arguments at the door. I did a 6-part podcast series on the Beatles and have nothing but love for them and McLennan stands, so no need to feel defensive, y'all. I support you in your endeavors. I don't know about that. 2. The Beatles went to Hamburg, not Berlin. Okay, there we go. It says Hamburg in my notes, but again, my brain has a hard time retrieving the correct words to speak out loud because I'm a member of the Dysnomia Nation. Okay, that's fine. I get that. I get shit wrong all the time, but you should also just make sure you be good. Be good. Even as a jester for silly little videos, you should still fact check yourself. I understand that she has dysnomia, and I understand that that is an issue with memory recall. I also have an issue with memory recall as well. I can't believe the Beatles destroyed the Berlin Wall! My favorite historical fact, I can't believe the Beatles destroyed the Berlin Wall. Fuck's sake, oh my god. Let's see. 3. Similarly, it was Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys who introduced everyone to Charles Manson, not George Harrison. George was friends with Eric Clapton, though, who is a shitbag, so, okay. I see that. Okay. Okay. Alright. 4. Pete Best's mom said the Beatles fired him for being too handsome. No. The Beatles said it was because he was bad at drums. I was just joking about the first rumor because the idea that Pete Best being fired for being too handsome is fucking hilarious to me. Like, what would that conversation even be like? This is not a history channel. It's all purely entertainment. What? I don't even think that his mom said that he was fired purely for being handsome. I think they fired him. What was it? They fired him. What his mom said was basically they fired him for no reason. They didn't actually give a reason. They just wanted him out because they didn't like him. I think that's it. I think she said it was a conspiracy to get him out of the band because they didn't like him and they didn't vibe with him very well. So, because I remember I read this in the official biography that was written by Hunter Davies a while ago. But I'm pretty sure that's what she said, was like there was like a conspiracy, or she believed there was a conspiracy against her son. And then John and them were claiming they just wanted Ringo to be the drummer because they didn't like Pete's drumming. But even then, that was a claim made by George Martin because George Martin didn't like the drums, didn't like Pete on the drums at all. But even then, he said it was fine. Like, he didn't care about it that much, but then they like sacked him anyway because they wanted Ringo. But they set Brian to do it. Oh my god. It's so convoluted. It's just back and forth. Nobody actually knows what the fuck happened. It's like a he said situation. Alright, what's this? Point 5. White artists stole rock and pop from black artists and popularized it. I'm not canceling the Beatles, but this is the truth. What? I mean, yeah, that's a true statement that white artists... Well, even then, that's a little bit more complicated, too, because it wasn't just stealing. It was stealing, yeah. But it was also, like... Pete the Beatles. I don't think the Beatles were necessarily stealing it. But again, I don't want to give them a leg up here. I'm not trying to defend them either. They did a lot of covers, and they do owe a lot of their music to black artists, and they acknowledged that frequently. Like Little Richard and Chuck Berry and a lot of black artists. They covered a few black artists too. They did a song by fucking oh my god, hang on. I can do this. My Beatles research is coming to me. Hang on. Hold on. They did 2 covers. One was by the Isley Brothers, which was Twist and Shout, and the other one is You Really Got a Hold on Me, which is a cover from fucking Smokey Robinson. There we go. There's quite a few black art. They've met Little Richard too, I'm pretty sure. They did also give, like, I could pull out my fucking albums right the fuck now. Hold on, and I'll do that. Hang on. I got the first album. You guys can't see it. But under every single one of their songs, they acknowledge which one's a cover and which one's originally by Lennon McCartney, right? Fucking, yeah, stuff like Love Me Do is Lennon McCartney, or P.S. I Love You is Lennon McCartney, and then they have Baby It's You, which is David Williams Bacharach, or Taste of Honey is Scott Marlowe, or like, I could also grab out the second one. Hang on. Oh god, everything is falling apart. Fuck. Everything is falling apart. In the pursuit of me looking up shit. The second one. The song I just mentioned, You Really Got a Hold on Me, credited as a cover of Smokey Robinson, with just his last name, Robinson. Like, they were pretty good about crediting things, especially on their albums. I don't know if that's an addition on their CDs, but I'm assuming that they did so on their records, too. They openly talked about doing covers all the damn time. Like, that's how they got their start, doing covers. So, like, I don't think it would have benefited them to really say, oh, I took this song and made it. This is an original song I composed. They did, as far as I'm aware, they were very good at acknowledging they did covers. But, like, that's the thing. You know, especially in blues spaces, it's common practice as working musicians, which the Beatles were, in bars and clubs to play standards, like songs that everyone knew, etc. Yeah. When they were in Hamburg and they had their residency, they literally stretched out 3-minute, 2-minute long songs to 20 minutes, and all of them were covers. Some of them were like original compositions, but most of them were covers. But to address her point, yes, white artists did often. Yes, he also did a lot of standards. Jimi Hendrix did too. Excuse me. White artists did steal a lot of rock and roll songs and pop songs from black artists to appeal to mainstream white audiences, and they never gave credit to the original composers of these songs. That is a very real thing that happened in the 50s and 60s, even before then as well, but especially during that time era. That is a really bad thing that happened, and it is a common thing that happened, and it's not good, okay? It is not great. It's awful. But as it pertains to the Beatles, maybe they did that too. I can't be certain. I can't be certain about that. Actually, I forgot to see on the fucking album, the first album, if they credited the Isley Brothers for their cover of Twist and Shout. Hold on. It's technically credited to Medley and Russell, but I'm pretty sure that's the Isley Brothers. Technically, I think so. Don't quote me on that one, though. But I don't think they were in the practice of doing similar things that a lot of white artists did, but I'm not saying that it wasn't a thing that happened, you know. I went through fucking politics and popular music course, like, in my college, when I was in college. And so I am very aware of these things happening, and the intricacies of why it happened, and the fact that it even still happens now, in a lot of instances. Yeah, Elvis and Led Zeppelin are particularly bad about that, but good examples for that specific thing happening. Exactly. Thank you, Leah, for backing me up on that one. But I will say, too, without the efforts of black artists in the jazz scene, the rock scene, the pop scene, every single genre of music, basically, there wouldn't be music as we know it in Western culture. So, like, we owe much of the structure of music as we know it today to black artists. So, I'm gonna say that now. I'm not arguing with anyone about that. That is legitimate history, and you can read about it. Black artists, black musicians are the reason we have music. So without black musicians, we wouldn't have the Beatles. So, yeah. That's where I'm gonna end that. Jesus, I'm sorry I got so impassioned about that, but that's just something that I just have a particular set of knowledge on that I wanted to at least set the record straight about. Literally every genre of popular music can be traced back to black artists in some form. Exactly. Exactly. Anyway. Point number 6. The Cynthia Lennon quote, "John never looked at anyone the way he looked at Paul," is fake. It's from DeviantArt. Lol, thanks to the person who alerted me on this. Why did you not double check that one? Even I knew that was fake. My beloved mutual on Tumblr runs a fact-checking blog on McLennan quotes and actually debunked that one as fake some time ago. I believe like several months ago now. And, I don't know necessarily if it's a quote from DeviantArt specifically, but it was one that was circled for a really long time and attributed to Cynthia. But no, that is not a real quote. Once again, you gotta double check yourself. Triple check yourself even. Especially in this field. This is real people. You gotta be really careful where you're treading. This isn't like fictional bullshit where it doesn't matter. This is real people. One of which is still alive. So you gotta be careful. And then 7.7. This is just the tip of the McLennan iceberg, so if you want to know more, do your own research. I thought it was gonna be like, if you want to know more, just let me know and I'll make another video. But also, that's so funny. This is just the tip of the McLennan iceberg, so if you want to know more, do your own research. Buddy, I don't think people would even know where to start. Sorry, I just kind of left this little picture up the whole time I was talking. Sorry, but... oh man. Like... okay, I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there. I'm not gonna unpack all of that entirely because, like, look, that's not my qualm, I guess. I mean, look, I am insane about those two, and the research that I've done has led me down rabbit holes that I don't think I could ever come back from and be normal about. I've seen some shit. Okay? I've seen some shit. But, like, if you really want to cover these two, you really gotta do your fucking research, man. She really just do your own research to you? She really did, and it's kind of funny. You did the research, and you're telling me to do my own research now, and just saying, LOL, this is just the basics. John Lennon, yeah. Say the line, Bart. John Lennon. Hooray! Have an autograph. What, me? I don't know about that. That was something. Look, I gotta flex my Beatles knowledge for a minute there. Not that I'm proud about that per se, because look. I'm not against people getting into this specific thing revolving around the Beatles, okay? It's a bonkers topic, and one that's fascinating. If you want to deep dive into, like, Paul and John, we gotta recenter ourselves. But also just like I said, this is real people, and there are very real facts out there that can be verified that you gotta, like, triple, quadruple check yourself on. Not just for the mob of people that you're gonna encounter, but also just, like, this was a real person's life, and it's kind of, I don't know. I guess in some ways, I don't particularly care, because, like, to me, the Beatles are a weird fable in my head that live at the edges of my imagination sometimes, and I keep forgetting they are real. But I don't know. It's like the most I don't know. I'm still stuck on the fact that she said Berlin instead of Hamburg. Where did she get Berlin from? Is it... What was it? Berlin is the capital? No, Berlin is not the capital of Germany. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about, and I don't care. One way or the other. I don't know. That was just the funniest fact to me. Berlin, baby. They knocked down the Berlin Wall. Oh, man. Also still funny that she's like, do your research. I have. I know significantly more than you. Does she know about Beat the Meatles? I want to know that. Does she know about Beat the Meatles? Does she know about Bridget Bardot? Does she know about Paris? Does she know? Does she know about the time that John cut up a woman's dress because of the fact that she was with Paul? Does she know about the group jerk-off sessions? Berlin is probably the most insane mistake she could have made, to be honest. LOL. Like, yeah. Like I said, I understand that she has problems with her memory. That's completely and utterly fine. Like I said, I have that too. I'm not saying, like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be mean about the fact that she has memory issues, okay? Like, God, that's below me, dude. Does she know about Winston Churchill? Does she know that John's middle name is Winston? Like Winston Churchill, even? Does she know about the insane shit that John pulled in trying to get married the same week as Paul? In Paris, no less. Does she know about the fact that John played his and Yoko's sex tape in a staff meeting one time? And Paul just went, well, that was certainly something. Does she know? Does she know? Do you guys see? Why is Beetlesaur so unnecessarily convoluted? I don't fucking know. I wish I knew. I'd be attracted to men if I could find one who could match my intelligence, says John Lennon, and he's spending all his time with no musician genius, Paul McCartney. No, because, like, the shit with Bridget Bardot is actually something I think about all the fucking time. Because, I'm so sorry, I'm going down the rabbit hole. I need to talk about this. Please indulge me for 1 minute. There's a quote, like, two separate quotes, where John and Paul are individually talking about, independently rather, talking about Bridget Bardot, who's a known French actress. John's talking about how much he, like, likes her, and it's, like, a vision of, like, a woman that he wants to be with, which is how he projected that onto his wife, Cynthia, who dyed her hair blonde for him, and got a nose job because of how much he liked Bridget Bardot. But the insane thing about it is John, like, he talked about that, right? But then Paul says he wishes, I think this is what it said, something to this effect. Please correct me if I'm wrong. He wants to look like Bridget Bardot. He wishes he could look like Bridget Bardot. I swear to God. Like, what is this? Aww. Leah sent me an image and it didn't work. I want to know what she sent me. No. But I have a feeling it's that fucking, that one image from It's Always Sunny. John is just above all us in human intellect and various other fields in every other way, shape, or form. You know, also, John kept trying to drop hints about the fact that he may be bisexual by talking about the fact that he went to gay clubs and danced with gay men and interacted with gay people. In some way, trying to spread the rumor himself that he's gay, and then everyone was like, oh, I thought it would be Paul. Which just frustrated the shit out of him, which is so fucking funny and petty at the same time. He's just like, oh, yeah, does he though? Yeah, that's that image. Oh, it's the, what's it, the Riddler? Does he know? Does she know? It's basically me this whole time being like, does she know this? Does she know that? Does she know this? I got exposed to a lot of this information through my mutuals, by the way. My mutuals and I are just on a weird wavelength where we're just in the same headspace together at all times. We reblog the same posts, or just about the same posts, on our dashboards. We live in harmony. We talk about it and how insane those two are all the time. It's great. It's fantastic. I was thinking about that exact image when you kept saying, does she know? Oh my god, wait, oh my god, I didn't even talk about the fucking real life demos. Where John is, like, talking about, singing about... Oh my god. I think about the real life demo all the fucking time. Where he's singing about, it's like the earliest demos of the song Real Love, which did eventually come out on, like, the Anthology CD compilation. But, there's a demo where he's singing about Paul, specifically, because he mentions a farm, another baby on the way, and holding him in his arms. Because, like, that can't be about anyone in his life other than Paul. It's crazy. I was like, what? Huh? Oh my god. He sounded so sad, too. He sounded very upset about it. He was, like, on the verge of tears. I was just like, oh my god. Don't do this to me today, please. Good god. It is devastating. But does she know about that? It's like the deepest depths. It just keeps getting deeper. It gets deeper, man. I really do feel like that image from fucking It's Always Sunny. It's the fucking corkboard. Wait. Do I still have that image? Hold on. I don't want to pull up celibacy on accident, so I'm just gonna go get a different image thing. Hold on. Do I still have it? God, please tell me I still have that image. I will fucking shit myself if I do. If I don't, then I'm gonna be so sad. No, yeah, I don't have it. No! No! Oh, this is the saddest day of my life. Wait. Hold on, I have something better, though. Does she know about this? Does she know about this interview? Where they're being weird about each other? And Ringo and George are sitting on the floor for some reason? Does she know? Oh, what's it? The Sylvia Pepe meme. Hold on. Or Pepe Sylvia. Oh my god, I just want a clear image of it. Why does there gotta be so many fucking memes? God. Here, wait, hang on. Oh god, hang on. Nope. Nope, I'm getting there. Hang on. Hold on, I gotta save it. It's not gonna work if I try to copy paste it. Such is life as I'm trying to just do one little thing, guys. One little thing. One little thing. This. I feel like this. Whenever I talk about those two, I feel like this. This is how I truly feel. I want to get into the Beatles because of all the hijinks that has ensued decades ago. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. You will be in the exact same position as me if you try to do any of the research that I've done. You don't even have to do what I've done specifically. I just ended up doing this on accident. I didn't mean to get into the fucking McLennan shit. I didn't mean to do that. I dropped on my ass into it on accident. I actually just wanted to get into the Beatles like a normal person, and then this shit happened to me. It happened to me. I couldn't get away from it. I just could not. So now I feel like this. I'm terrified that I'll give up my dreams of getting a degree in psychology just to replace it with a master's degree in Beatles lore. You know, that's a valid fear. But I feel like you'll be fine. I have a degree in psychology, and look at where I'm at. Also, I kind of want to turn off drawing now because my hand's bothering me too much. I just kind of want to talk. Sorry. But do listen to them, please. If anything, just listen to their music. Don't do what I did and get into the fucking lore shit. I think you should be normal and just listen to their music. Yes, it is worth listening to. I'll give you some recommendations even for music that I enjoyed. Some of my favorite songs for the Beatles. I'm a huge fan of George's songs, specifically. I love Long, Long, Long from the White Album. Recently I've been listening to I Me Mine on loop. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, also very good. And the Escher demo that comes with it. Your Mother Should Know, from the Magical Mysteries Tour. Although I'm very partial toward Magical Mysteries Tour. It's a very good album. It's a comfort album of mine. In Spite of All the Dangers, a very early track from them when they were still the Quarrymen, and I still recommend it anyway. It's very cute, very sad, but very good. Oh jeez. I'm trying to think. There's so many Beatles songs I love. Blackbird, definitely. Yesterday, definitely. Maybe Hey Jude, if you're feeling up to it. I recently listened to Rain. That one was pretty good. It's a double track with Paperback Writer. The music videos for both of those are very good. The White Album as a whole is fantastic. You listen to it. Anyway, yeah. I think I will just, like, leave it there, because I'm just gonna fucking give you a list of recommendations and not stop. Sorry. No worries. Yeah. Let's see. I get in arguments frequently with my Beatles or overrated coworkers, lol. Listen to my crazy-ass playlist. Yeah, that's true. Give me recommendations and there's a 12% chance I'll listen to them. No worries. I'm the same way, except, not. Not with the Beatles. I will listen to the Beatles immediately. I'm like, oh, Beatles? I'm on it. My brain stopped working, sorry. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know how I got on oh, I'm so sorry. By the way, I just went on a dump about McLennan. Listen, I've been wanting to talk about McLennan forever, but I am so tentative about talking about it in a public manner because, like, people are gonna be like, what the fuck? Huh? They're gonna think I'm weird, and, like, that's fine. Because, like, I don't care, but also, I don't know. I guess it's just because, like, I sound insane. I literally sound like this image whenever I talk about them. It also is just, like, I'm devastated personally by them emotionally because they are literally a Shakespearean tragedy in some aspects. Especially the way Paul talks about John, post-John, like, after his death. I still think about him saying, like, I dream about him, or when he thought he saw John, like, as a ghost, like, this little blue flicker came across an interview once, and he was like, oh, it's just John, and I was like, We are all insane here, it's okay. Are you sure about that? I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm more crazy. I'm just like, I don't sound normal. I need psychiatric help. Do you really want normal people on your stream? I guess that's fair, but also I'm worried that the normal Beatles fans are gonna find this and be like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? It's just, like, criticize me in a way that I won't appreciate. Like, boy, do they not want to know what I do in my spare time. I don't think they want to know what I do. I don't think they want to know what I do in my spare time other than research. And I'll leave it at that. I don't think they even want to know the fact that I, like, like the dynamics between all of them because they're all weird. I'm fascinated by the dynamics between Paul and John especially, but also I'm interested in the dynamics between Paul and George because something was going on there too. In a bad way. It was a bad divorce. Like if Paul and John's divorce was bad, they did eventually have a somewhat reconciliation, but it was kind of tentative. But oh my god, you should see the shit with Paul and George. That's the shit that nightmares are made out of, buddy. Good god. But, like, the thing is people focus in so much on Paul and John specifically that there's, like, other dynamics that people don't pay attention to. Like, the fact that, like, John and Ringo were, like, glue. They were, like, best friends and nobody cares. Like, what? How can you miss that? It's, like, right in front of you. I would consider myself a normal Beatles fan, and what you're doing is no different from the average Beatles fan during Beatlemania, and what you're doing is fine. I don't know about that. My girlfriend knows a little bit more about the stuff that I talk about with her than the rest of you do, so... Because I've info dumped to her a little bit more, because I know she doesn't care, and also won't tell. But she knows a lot. But yes, there's just dynamics in the whole group. Also, I'm fascinated specifically with the dynamics between John and George specifically, because they were just as weird about each other as Paul and John were, but on like a lower tier. But that's the thing, is there's so much stuff that's focusing in on Paul and John specifically because they were Lennon McCartney, but there's not a lot of talk about the dynamics in amongst the other Beatles with each other. Like, there's some talk about the stuff that's between Paul and George, but, like, in small bursts, because, Paul doesn't talk about George as much as he talks about John. Probably because he's had to prove that he didn't hate his ass for, like, 44 years now after his death. But also just keeping George's privacy. But also, like, John and George, like, oh my god, don't get me started on those two. I wish there was more about them because they were so weird about each other too. They were still writing Lennon fiction in the 1960s. It just didn't exist yet. That's what I'm saying. People on TikTok are so weird about that, by the way. I saw a comment that was like, I don't really like McLennan or Starrison, which is like George and Ringo. It's like they don't care about it, but then someone went in and replied, was like, yeah, it's also considered necrophilia because it's two of them are dead. And I was like, what the fuck? Go touch grass. Your grandmas were probably writing fan fiction about those two sucking and fucking, so like chill out. Your grandmas were writing self-insert fan fiction dating the Beatles. How's that any different than people writing fic about John and Paul sucking and fucking, or any of the other number of Beatles sucking and fucking? And like, some of that was true. God, this stream has devolved. Good lord, help me. I keep cutting myself off. I keep getting to a point where I'm talking about George and John, and then I keep cutting myself off. I'm so sorry. But those two were, like, look. I'm trying to finish my point. I'm sorry, I need to finish my point or else I'm gonna fucking keep coming back to it and then cutting myself off. I know, it is a crazy thing to say. But anyway, there's like, I want to know more specifically about John and George because there was this insane thing that I found whilst on my dashboard one day where it was talking about, it was this insane link where the thing I mentioned before about John's infatuation with Bridget Bardot specifically, where George, because he has like this hero complex for John specifically because of how they grew up, he kind of viewed John as like this like hero figure in a way. Like, he followed the guy around often like a lost puppy when he went on dates with Cynthia. It's kind of funny and also kind of sad. But, like, he had this weird hero complex for John. But it's kind of this thread of, like, he married Patty in a way because he kind of saw similarities between Bridget Bardot and Patty. And so he wanted to show John that he had taste in women, I guess. To, like, suck it up to him a little bit and be like, hey, look, doesn't my wife look like Bridget Bardot? Which is something he actually said at some point. It's... It's like a weird... I can't... There's so much going on there. It's crazy. Like... It, like, devolved over time gradually, of course, because everything in terms of relationships with John does inevitably peter out because the guy is not stable. But, like, it's so interesting in that way. With that specific point, sticks with me so much. Where, like, yeah, he married Patty because he loved her, of course. I'm not saying that it was just because he wanted to prove something to John. He loved her, but also it was like an unconscious thing to be like, yeah, she kind of looks like Bridget Bardot because she's got the blonde hair thing going on and also kind of looks like her just a smidge. Hey, John, look, my wife kind of looks a bit like Bridget Bardot. Isn't that crazy? Also makes me think about that comment that he made in that interview that I think about often, where the interviewer was like, oh, what kind of women are you interested in, to John? And he was like, my wife. And then he goes to George and asks the same question, and George is like, John's wife. And then he, like, hits him and tells him not to be a smartass. I know, but doesn't my wife look like Bridget Bardot? The fascination with Bridget Bardot in this group is crazy. I can't fathom it. I can't. I wish I had the fucking quote to pull up to show you guys, because it's real. It's a real thing that they said. It's a real thing he said. It's real. I'm not crazy. You know what? I'm looking real quick. I'll find it. I will. By gum, if it takes me forever, I will find that fucking quote, because oh my god, dude. Oh, I wish I could search multiple tags on my blog at the same time and not just one at a time. It would make my life so much easier. I'll find it though. I don't reblog that much about George, but I'll find it. Whoop. Nope. Okay, that's the wrong thing. All the images are not loading. That's great. Tumblr's a functional website, folks. No, it is not, but, you know what? It might actually take me way longer, because I think I reblogged that shit way back toward the middle of the month, but, like, I could be wrong. Nope, that's not it either. I don't know. Hang in there with me. I promise I'll find something. If I can find those insane quotes about, the interviewers being weird about Paul crying, I can find these quotes about George saying, wow, look at my wife. Doesn't she look like Bridget Bardot? I will and I can. Where there's a will, there's a way. That's just a lot of pictures of George looking like a woman. I don't know. Sorry. That's just a... Oh, wait, is this... Oh, I found... Holy shit, I did it. Guys, I did it. Oh my god, I'm a genius. Holy fucking shit. Realizing your Beatles knowledge has now eclipsed mine. Oh dear, I'll be a poser in no time. Let men cry, I know. Let's see. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so here's, well, no, not the specific quote, but here's the thing that George said. I can't exactly source it. There's no credible source on it, but it says, I think this is from his fucking biography or whatever, but it says, I remember the first time I gained some respect from John was when I fancied a chick in the art college. She was cute in a Bridget Bardot sense, blonde with little pigtails. Anyway, Les had a party at his house, and the Bridget Bardot girl was there, and I pulled her and snogged her, which means he kissed her. However, somehow John found out, and after that, he was a bit more impressed with me. And then, Here's the quote that I mentioned. This is from Cynthia. Well, Cynthia Lennon, who is John's first wife. George and Patty, on the other hand, were still trying to impress each other in their newfound love. George would take John to one side, enthusing over Patty and the way she looked. Hey, John, don't you think she's fantastic? Just look at her now, John. Doesn't she look like Bridget? Doesn't she look like Bridget? And then in brackets, it puts her last name, Bardot. I just... Oh my god. Then Cynthia goes on to say, John found the whole situation highly amusing. Love's young dream was beyond redemption, and if George mentioned Patty's resemblance to Bridget once, he mentioned it 1,000 times until he bored the pants off John, being an old married man in comparison to George. He kept bringing it up. Is that not crazy? What the fuck? See what I mean when I tell you they had a weird thing going on, especially specifically with this? I'm at a loss for words. At a loss, my friend. Oh my god. Here's a quote specifically from Patty, too, talking about, John, well, here, I'll give context. This is from Pete Shotton, who is a friend of John's, like a longtime childhood friend of his. He goes on to say, though Patty had undeniably made herself especially desirable as a scantily clad belly dancer when they were at a Halloween party, neither Sin, who the nickname for Cynthia, nor George were the least bit amused by John's open flirtation with her. And then the quote from Patty, it says, I don't think it helped that John thought I looked like Bridget Bardot, or that I got on so well with him. There was a rumor, I don't know where it came from, that John and I had an affair, and I suppose Cynthia may have believed there was something in it. What is going on? Mom, I'm scared. Someone come pick me up. I'm feeling like this image right now again. I don't know what's wrong with them. I do not. This whole little group of theirs is so fucking weird. I mean, like, especially John, like, I bring up all the time. John was just on another level. Like, especially, like, it's especially interesting because, like, it kind of tells you the mindset that John was in, because okay, I'm sorry, I'm going on a weird tangent. I'm sorry, but hang on, I gotta bring this up because I mentioned it to my mom, and I need to mention it to you guys because I just think about this all the time. When George had his affair with Maureen, who was Ringo's first wife, everyone found out about it eventually, including John, and John was the first to say that what he was doing was considered incest, which is not how that works. None of them are related. But it just kind of shows his mindset in that regard, of how he views the group. So, like, I don't know, man. I am all over the place, but, like, I'm going insane. Wouldn't be a chord stream without a tangent. It is fun. It is okay. I hope so. I feel like I'm going crazy. Now you guys understand the kind of, like, shit I've been stewing in for literally months now. Since I first started getting into the Beatles. Because, look, I started out with McLennan, and then it spiraled. I don't know where I would be if I hadn't have accidentally found my way into McLennan first and then got into the Beatles as a result. Like, you know, you want to know something? I need to admit this now to you guys because I've been lying to you guys about this for a bit or just keeping it to myself. there were some poems that I read to you guys in the beginning. I haven't done this in a while now, but there are some poems that I read to you guys in the beginning that are about McLennan. Quite a few of them, actually. I wrote a lot of them. I haven't written some in a while, but there's a few. I don't know if anyone picked up on that or not. I doubt it. I wasn't trying to be necessarily very obvious about it, but I don't know, I just felt embarrassed about saying it outright. Now I just don't give a fuck. But, like, even still, I feel a bit embarrassed. I'm like, fuck. Good Lord, help me. I'm not telling you which ones I read that are about McLennan. You guys are gonna have to figure that one out for yourself. The McLennan to Beatles pipeline is quite rare, but it's known to happen. It happened to me, so if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. I found their music. I became a fan of their music as a result of being into McLennan, and that's kind of funny. And honestly, I went backwards. I did the opposite of what most people do, where they get into the Beatles music first and then they fall into that pipeline, but I did it backwards. I didn't pick up on it at all, lol. But to be cringe is to be free. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've done more writings about them, but I'm not gonna talk about those. No one needs to know about those writings unless, like, you inquire to me about them in private. I'm not gonna talk about them in public on stream. Those ones are gonna stay tucked in my pocket, thank you very much. Anyway. Alright. Well, I think this was a very successful stream. I think we're gonna end it there. Oh, I spiraled into the Beatles. Good Lord, it always ends up at the Beatles somehow. Fuck me, good God. When inevitably I fall out of this fucking hyperfixation, I'm gonna look back on all of these streams that I've done and just had tangents about the Beatles in and just cringe and be like, oh, why did I do that? I mean, I didn't do that when I was into Ghost, I guess because I didn't have that strong of an attachment. Also, funniest thing ever, Ghost fandom versus the Beatles fandom, such different vibes. Being in the Ghost fandom felt so restricting and there was bi discourse all the time. Being in the Beatles fandom, so many people there are nice as hell. I've made such nice friends with like 4 or 5 people easily. Like, they were some of my first followers and they were some of the nicest people ever, and one of them I'm talking to is so nice. But yeah. It's been a pleasure as always. Apologies for my absence last week and my tardiness this week. I will be back to normal next time, I swear. No worries. But yeah, that was fun. Next week, we are starting our charity streams. As mentioned at the beginning of stream. For all of December, we are going to be doing charity streams for MAP, or Medical Aid for Palestinians, which is the charity that we raised money for last time. We will be doing Bob Ross painting tutorials, and as I said before, I will put more details in my community post, so keep an eye on the community tab of my channel so that you don't miss specific times and incentive goals and just a lot more details about what specifically we are doing. But hopefully those streams will be fun, and hopefully we raise a lot of money for a good cause, because, you know, I've been holding off on this for several months now, and I'm very excited that we finally are making it come to fruition. So hopefully you guys will be there, and hopefully you guys will spread the word about it, and hopefully we raise a lot of money. Charity streams last year were great fun. Oh, they were. And it will be fun this year, hopefully. But yeah. So, as always, make sure you get something to eat. If you haven't eaten anything yet, make sure that you get something to drink. If you haven't drank anything yet, if you haven't taken your medication, go do that, please. Go take your medication. That's important. If you're in school right now, make sure you study for that test or turn in that homework. It is better to do it late than never, as I always say. Make sure you pet your pets, water your plants, take a shower if you haven't yet, brush your hair, brush your teeth, do what you need to do to take care of yourselves. Just know that I love you and I care about you, and there are people in your life that love and care about you as well. And I will see you guys for the charity streams next week. Have a good weekend, y'all. The last bit of it that's left. Bye! I'll see y'all later. Bye! Goodbye! Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Bye. I'll see you all later. Bye. Catch y'all later.